for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Tough news for the San Antonio Spurs yesterday as it was announced Victor Wembanyama will be shut down for the rest of the season for what has been diagnosed as deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. The early exit will cause Wemby to be ineligible for Defensive Player of the Year awards due to the number of games he will miss. In hockey news, the Four Nations face-off is complete as Canada beat USA 3-2 in overtime. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Welcome in. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm AJ, joined almost as always.
As much as humanly possible.
The roads weren't iced over today, so guess who's here? It's Rob Thompson. Rob,
Good
yay!
morning. We made it. We made it.
Happy Friday.
Oh, here we go.
Whoop,
Whoop,
whoop.
whoop. Cue the teenage girls.
Whoop, whoop. What a day to be alive, friends.
I know, it's kind of what a sad day. It was nothing but bad news yesterday. All of my favorite things, and then even one that could have been.
All we
let
are,
me down, baby.
All we are is dust in the wind.
That's all we are.
Yeah.
That's all we are, friends. And,
JJ Huska, I'm thinking of you when you say that.
Yeah.
I have a friend that's a big Kansas fan.
Oh, is he? He's the one.
He's from Wichita. Of course he would be.
Okay. Is the band Kansas from Kansas?
Yes, of course.
I mean,
I would hope so. Why would anyone claim such if not something was true? Would you claim Kansas if you weren't from there?
I mean, I didn't know they were claiming it per se.
Well, I mean, would you name your band that if you weren't from there? They have to be from there because JJ's such a huge Kansas fan. And I know he's from
guess
Kansas,
so, yeah.
Anyway.
Chicago is from Chicago. Are there any other bands named after cities?
Like LA Guns. That's a good hair band.
Yeah. Where are the LA Guns? Formed in...
I think that's a hair band if I'm not...
From Los Angeles. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I guess it's your responsibility.
Is there a San Antonio band name? The Alamo San Antonio?
I don't think so.
Too many syllables. That's the problem.
Yeah. Bands named after cities. Boston.
Yeah.
They are from Boston.
I hope so.
America.
Well, that's a broad scope.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are from America, though. Alabama.
Now we're talking.
They are from Alabama.
I hope so. Would anyone claim such if it weren't not in fact true?
I got one. Asia.
See, that's a broad scope. And I've seen the band. I think they're lying.
I think they're British.
I think they got there late.
Yep. Nazareth.
I don't think
They're Scottish.
I don't think they're Jewish or Muslim.
They're Scottish.
I don't think they're either one of those.
Yeah.
Nazareth.
Remember?
What about the Miami Sound Machine?
They would be.
They are
from there.
They are.
Gloria Estefan.
Yep. The Bay City Rollers.
Now aren't they Irish?
They're from Edinburgh, Scotland.
Scottish, yeah.
Is that a roller derby deal?
Oh no, they were kind of
Sounds like it.
early '70s, made for TV, fake, kind of real band.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it felt like they were kind of a made for TV band, but they weren't. They're kind of like the Monkees.
I think all the rest of them are actually from from what they're called.
Well, that's good. They should be.
New York Dolls.
Oh yeah, they're definitely New York.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. So I guess I should have known. I should have known.
You never know, but we divert ourselves from bad news at every turn.
Yeah, there's bad news all over the place, friends. Things are hard. Things are hard if you're an American. Things are hard if you are a Spurs fan. Things are hard.
If you're a Cowboy fan.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a given.
We had some extra salt.
Yeah.
That's every year.
And I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'd bought an entire section to the Longhorn spring game. I mean, what am I going to do with those?
Well, yeah.
I was going to scalp them outside, sell them for
Not
extras
anymore.
so you could see Arch. But no.
Not anymore.
Nope, not going to do that. So
I'm surprised. And, well, I think it turns out that money was just a donation to the university to help pay for Sark's extension.
it was a mistake. I probably should have sent the money to my alma mater.
Yeah, you accidentally just paid for Texas
I was trying to make a buck.
You just paid for them to keep their coach for the next.
Punched me in the teeth. They're probably going to give that money to the baseball coach. Probably going to go directly to him. When I was
going to buy his dinner.
I was just trying to make a few dollars on the spring game.
Yeah, it turns out that's a bad idea.
He's going to be paying for his NIL deal.
Yeah, and also, it's a sad day if you were expecting it to be the coldest day in history in San Antonio, which they tried to trick us.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, yesterday Rob and I are going to Austin this afternoon, and Rob was like, "Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be
could be a icy on the way.
It's supposed to be ice," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I looked at the forecast, and it was like today when I woke up, it was supposed to be like 20.
Yeah, I was supposed to be 19 at my house, which I mean, it's still cold.
Don't get me wrong, but yeah, 20 is that's
a long way from 31.
Yeah, and you get in your car. Like I walked outside in this. I'm wearing like a very thin Henley type shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an undershirt on, but I was like, I know I've got my coat in the car. So if it's like crazy cold, I just got to make it to my car, and I take my coat off in the car anyway, so my heated seats can warm my body properly. And I said I'll put that coat on when I when I get to the office. Now and then I got out there. I was like, I don't even need this coat, and I'm certainly not going to need it to walk from my car to the office.
Dude, on the other hand, I had gloves, my heaviest coat.
I know, you look like the
he had a
guy.
scarf wrapped around his head. All you could see was his eyes.
Yeah.
Dude, yesterday was cold. Yeah. I mean, my gosh.
The last 2 days have been like the kind where you feel it in your bones.
Yeah, so I was going to be fine today. And I walked out and I was like, doesn't feel that bad. And turned and looked at the thermometer at my house, and I'm north of town. So normally I'm about 3 to 5 degrees colder than than anywhere else.
You're in more of a hilly.
Yeah. So I expect it to be just worse, and it's the same temperature here and at home, right at 31.
Yeah. We were oversold the disastrous weather. Like this is like
I mean, you're not even close.
This is like the guys who are there's a hurricane, it's going to be gale force winds, and then they're standing outside and they just look like it's a rainy day, but the news station already paid for them to go out there, so they're like, guys, it looks like it's about to really start coming.
No, I think I can see the sun coming up behind you. No.
Is that a rainbow?
No.
It's terrifying.
You can't see what I can see.
Yeah.
So, but in real terms, think of the monumental waste of like sand and anti-freezing agent that was poured over bridges all over South Texas.
Did they do that?
Well, yeah, they did it. And we hit 31.
Yeah, they should have put tahine or what is it, beer salt instead. There's plenty of that.
No, that's valuable stuff, man.
Yeah.
There's a 25% tariff on the good tahine now.
Oh, yeah.
You got to hold on to it like gold.
That's like you stock toilet paper. I stock tahine, and I'm
tahine, man. I'm never going to get
you want
caught short again. I'll tell you that.
You want the real stuff?
That's my daughter. All tahine.
Yeah.
On everything.
I still like just good old fashioned salt on my margarita. I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate tahine, but it's for some reason the salt is just feels right.
I like it when it's there, but quite frankly, I don't miss it when I don't have it. On a beer, I like it when it's there. And if anybody ever offers, would you like that dressed? I always say yes. But if you just handed me a dose or anything that would normally be dressed and I didn't have it, I don't really miss it.
I don't drink beer that should be dressed.
Well, I mean,
typically.
It adds to the flavor. I like the Mexican beers that are made to have a lime squeezed into it. I want to do that. I want to enhance what they think is the best way to do it, and I like it that way. But if I don't have it, I don't really miss it. I'm not like, I'm not going to have that, especially if it's free.
Yeah. Do they ever put tahini on your beer?
Well, see, my dearest friend, he's a tahini. He's the kind of dude. Have you ever seen Pepper Belly Pete on the socials?
Yeah,
No.
I follow him all the time. He's good. Yeah.
Pepper Belly cooks with like the cheapest ingredients you can find and turns into some pretty decent food.
What does he have on his
forearm? And he has on his forearm this like wrist thing, forearm sheath that has like for bullets, but for little spice bottles.
Yeah.
That's kind of what. So he's cooking and he's got these like spice bottles strapped to his forearms. So
that's his gimmick.
That's like I need a little of this, a little of that, and he just kind of pulls it out.
Well, I mean, he could just
he
could just put that on a shelf.
Well, he could, yeah, but that's his shtick.
Okay, yeah. So he's like a pro wrestler.
That's his eye catcher.
Gimmick.
That's his gimmick. That's his hook.
That's his bit.
That's his bit. His hook. That's how he makes his dough.
Okay.
And but if
he's
you
like
were like
he's like Brutus the Barber Beefcake realized like wrestlers could go to a regular barber and get their hair cut. But
why would you?
Why do that when I could be the barber and that can be my gimmick?
That's your hook. That's how you get paid.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Pepper Belly Pete has that, and you could adorn that if you were a tahini fan. Just you could load yourself up going out with the different flavors.
Oh, you got and Pepper Belly Pete does use tahini also.
Well, evidently he does on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got his own branded sauce. That's what it is.
Worcestershire.
Kiss your sister sauce, I think is what he says.
Yeah.
Where's this guy from?
God knows.
Probably Alabama.
Yeah.
He's the kind that does he'll show what they're called dump and stirs. My good friend Andrew Zimmer, name drop, talked about.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are good friends.
These cooking shows where they have the camera on the food, the dump and stir, and you always want to have like a pristine, high end skillet. You don't want anything dirty. Well, it seems like half the time I watch Pepper Belly Pete do his cooking, it looks like the dishes are dirty. Dude. And he's got like the oldest frying pan that we all have in our stove that's got, non-sticks just kind of hanging on.
I ain't changing
and
for
he's
you.
Cooking in that. Like, dude, upgrade, man. Go
I
get
ain't
one
changing
good pan.
nothing for you.
Get a good pan. You're on TV, or at least a device.
Pepper Belly Pete.
See, look, see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That could be your tahini and salt armor. You can just have that with you at all times. Think of the ladies you'd meet if you could just pop out with a tahini at any moment.
What if I had AJ branded things? Like it was my own personal mix.
That'd be a little skeevy.
Well, that's what Pepper Belly Pete's got. He's got his own sauces.
Well, he's not handing it to me at a bar.
Oh, that's true.
Like I'm thinking roofie at that point.
That's
it's
true.
my own special sauce. You want some in your drink?
Well, I mean, listen. I think if I were to try to salt some gal's rim,
we need to make an AJ one of this one.
Oh yeah. Well, see,
flavor time.
Would you buy that if that was just on a shelf and that dude is looking at you?
no,
I ain't buying Pepper Belly Pete's Flavor Time.
no.
I don't know where all that flavor came from.
I'm looking at the price. How much is it? Let's see.
That's
2-pack, $25.
Although I do watch his vids. I mean, the guy can cook. I'm not going to take away from skill.
You know who my favorite online chef is? Is that Jess Pryles?
Oh yeah,
the hardcore carnivore gal.
The Aussie.
She is a smoke show.
She's Aussie.
Yes, she is, and she is gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
And man, that girl knows everything there is to know about meat.
Look at her holding that meat right
Oh,
and she's a fine butcher.
What a woman. She has like a degree in meat science.
You can get that at A&M. That's
I mean, she's everything is what she is.
Girl, you
she's
take
everything.
home to mom, that's for sure.
Yeah. Man, I love her. Unfortunately, she's married. But husbands die. They do.
Yeah.
They do. And sometimes they I don't know, maybe she'll catch him doing something terrible.
Looking at this, I got to start watching more of these videos.
Right? She's got it going on, and she's
standing in South Texas in this one. I know what South Texas looks like.
Dude, she lives in Austin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She lives
maybe you all run into her.
Maybe so. Maybe we'll see her today.
Maybe next time I'm massaging my meat.
We're going to go get some barbecue today. Yeah. Rob and I are, before we go to the game.
Le barbecue.
And maybe we'll see Jess running about.
Maybe. Man can dream.
I don't know if I can
I don't know why else we're going up.
I don't know if I can talk to her.
You're gonna stutter in front
I'd be
of her.
too nervous.
Oh, I'd show her some meat.
You're gonna be like
Rob, come on, man.
Nah,
What?
you're gonna be like Buzz Buzzard.
Rob, I just told you this is a woman that like I could end up being married to, and you're like, I'll show her some meat. Like, have some respect for me.
I'm
all
not.
right?
I think she would know what I'm talking
whip
about.
this out.
We speak the same meat language, if you know what I mean.
She doesn't want to see your old gristle anyway.
Oh, this is well primed. This is dry-aged, baby.
Yeah.
It's the very best of the dry
This hasn't touched moisture in years.
You gotta shave off that funk on the outside, but once you get to that soft inner side, oh baby,
honey, my meat hadn't seen
melt in your mouth.
Hadn't seen moisture in a year.
I know it's a little gamey.
You're a pig, Rob. You're
That's
a pig.
awful.
She's a lady. She is a lady.
Yeah,
I would.
That's a man knows something good in his mouth, right there.
Yeah, I would. But I would be very nervous to be around her. What a woman she is.
Do you get?
No, not really.
No,
but
I don't either. I
mean,
don't get verklempt.
But I mean, I do. She is my favorite follow on the Instagram for cooking people because she has some good recipes too. And
there's some other smoking hot, but I mean, she's with the meats.
I mean,
you know what I mean? I get you.
Yeah, and what I appreciate about her is like she's not just like a pretty girl who's like the sports betting space has a bunch of
the bouncing boob line layers.
Pretty girls who don't know anything about sports betting. Mm-hmm. She is a master of this stuff, and I appreciate her craft.
I bet she goes home and doesn't do anything. But she doesn't cook at home at all.
No, she does.
I did it all day at work.
She has I'm cleaning out the freezer series, and so she'll just take a hunk of meat and say, it'll be what this will be good for, and then she'll show you what that hunk of meat will be good for.
You know what? My manhood would be threatened. I don't think I could do this.
Oh, she would be the better. She'd be the better barbecuer at your house, and that'd be
times better.
Oh yeah, that would be embarrassing.
No, I take that back. That would be an absolute dream.
Right?
No, wait a minute. Is that a nightmare or a dream?
And
it's such a fine line between the two.
She'd say, Rob, why don't you go in and mash the potatoes?
I'll mash your potatoes, baby.
She'll tell you to go do something in the kitchen, Rob. Yeah. All right. I think her husband.
Hey, what do you think of this asparagus?
her husband, they call him well-fed Chris, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what a life that guy's got. You talk about marrying up. Good for him.
Well-fed. Where's your husband, Fat Boy Rob?
Yep. All right, let's hit a break. We'll talk about Wemby on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like we've got our first trouble spot of the morning. An accident on the northeast side at 35 southbound at Retama Parkway. Accident has you stop and go through the area. 35 southbound Olympia Parkway to 1604. That's some road work. Roadway is reduced to one lane, a 25-minute travel time. Start moving over to your right lane. That's the only lane that's getting by. And it does have you stop and go from FM 3009. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases. We do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit JoeGomezLaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Has a loved one died and left you an old car to sell? GiveMeTheVin.com has just launched the new service GMTVCC.com. Write this down, GMTVCC.com, which is Give Me the VIN classic and collector car buying service. GMTVCC.com will hook you up with GMTVCC Pro buyers that will appraise and offer on that 69 Chevelle, old Corvette, old truck, and especially Restomods. We love Restomods at GMTVCC.com. Don't mess with consignments or auctions. Get paid today on your classic or collector car at gmtvcc.com.
Hi, everybody. It's Joe Reinagel. You know, now is a great time of year to get your roof inspected and ready for our crazy spring weather. Be it hot, cold, rain, or hail. Who knows what Mother Nature has in store for us this year? Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. You know, your roof protects your home and your family. A quality roof overhead means comfort, confidence, and certainly peace of mind. Now is the time to get your roof ready for spring. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Do you ever scroll through social media only to find yourself bombarded by bad news, hot takes, picture-perfect families, and yet another humbling professional update? It's hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing, but imagine how you would feel if you spent 45 minutes focused on how you are doing. At Cerebral, they make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication personalized to you. The best part, Cerebral offers in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. In fact, 72% of people say they felt better in just 12 weeks. Cerebral makes mental health care easy, accessible, and more affordable. Cerebral is proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs, and just like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important, and Cerebral is here to help you build a strong foundation on your overall well-being. Take that first step today. Go to Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral, make time for Mind Time.
George Gets Justice. When you've been injured, you need to get George Salinas Injury Lawyers because you need someone who understands your pain and the impact an accident has on your life. You need someone who listens and is always there fighting for you and your future. When you get George Salinas Injury Lawyers, you get all this and more. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. And remember, you won't pay anything unless they win your case. Call George Salinas at 210-225-0909. George Gets Justice. GetGeorge.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
More than a feeling.
Where are they from?
Where's this band from?
Boston.
Oh, I get it. It's a theme.
Who knew?
It's a theme.
Who knew? Morning Huddle 94.1. Bad news for the Spurs yesterday, or is it?
It's bad news.
Okay.
This is bad.
So,
Is it?
Oh, it's bad.
Deep.
Oh, this part is not. I mean, this is bad for a lot. This is scary, yeah.
Deep vein thrombosis.
Dude, if you're sitting in a doctor's office and they walk in and say, well, we've diagnosed you with deep vein thrombosis.
I would think they were cupping my satchel.
Right. I think you guys were x-raying the wrong part of my body.
Right.
It's my shoulder that hurts.
And
and I know when I stand up, that's about where your shoulder is, right where you must have x-rayed right there.
My thrombosis doesn't reach all the way up there.
My thrombo. Now, don't get me wrong.
I wish it did. If I did, I'd be in a different line of work, Bubba.
I'm 7'4". Right. Scale that up, baby.
Yeah.
But it's my shoulder. But deep vein thrombosis, that's scary as hell. What?
It sounds scary. Blood clot sounds scary, but also it sounds to me like I stayed at a Holiday Inn last night, but I did hear a lot of doctors talk.
Yesterday, we are all experts now.
Everybody had doctors on what's going to happen. And pretty much to a man, they said,
take some blood thinners.
Yeah, he needs to get on an aspirin routine. Okay. Well, and then what? And then you'll be fine.
You should be, yeah. It should be.
And it's like
functioning good adult.
Oh, well,
Brandon Ingram had it.
What are we all panicked about? And the truth is, it seems that most people I heard yesterday, and again, I'm no doctor, but most people I heard yesterday that are doctors, at least allegedly doctors, said he could, if they were playing this differently, Wemby could have been out a couple of weeks and then come back and finish the season.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an abundance of caution, which it makes sense, first of all, to have an abundance of caution with Wemby. You should. But also, it's really hard not to think that the Spurs understand that what we talked about yesterday, the likelihood that they're going to make the playoffs or the play-in even,
I mean, I think
is slim.
We had a confluence of several events that gave us a natural outcome.
Yes. And when everything is pointing that way, like, man, it's going to be really tough for this team to make something happen now. And then this pops up, it's real easy to go, yeah, there was about 20 signs pointing this direction.
And this
I think this big O sign shows up. Now it's time. Let's just go that way. And I'm not saying the Spurs are tanking, but what I am saying is
they're tanking. Well, with him, they're not in the playoffs. Let's be real. With him, they're not in the playoffs.
Right.
With him. So, your best dude, when he's gone and you're not in the playoffs now, it's a foregone conclusion. Now it gets to the strategery of losing. And we're pretty good at this.
Yeah.
We've done this a time or two. So, let's just hope that is indeed the strategy.
I would assume that it is. And you know what? Well, I don't blame them. I think this is the right move.
There's reasons and excuses, and this is a pretty good reason.
I think so too. All right, let's hit a break. We'll talk about what the fallout's going to look like. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like we've got our first trouble spot of the morning. An accident on the northeast side at 35 southbound at Retama Parkway. Accident has you stop and go through the area. 35 southbound Olympia Parkway to 1604. That's some road work. Roadway is reduced to one lane, a 25-minute travel time. Start moving over to your right lane. That's the only lane that's getting by. And it does have you stop and go from FM 3009. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Getting arrested can feel like a sucker punch to the face. Don't accept mediocrity while staying down for the count. Get up and fight for your reputation and your future. At Barton & Associates, we have a stable of hard-hitting and aggressive lawyers ready to get your life back on track. Call Barton & Associates at 210-500-0000. That's 210-5-MILLION. Or visit texasarrest.com. Barton & Associates, we are here to get your life and reputation back.
Principal Office, San Antonio.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-895-1414. That's 800-895-1414. 800-895-1414.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to babbel.com. That's babbel.com.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's go!
Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Loving, hey, get it wrong. Cut me right back down to size.
Know anybody with tickets to this?
To Bush?
Don't they have a show? Don't they have a tour? Aren't they mounting a tour right now?
I think we gave away Bush tickets like
I don't remember.
last year or early when I got here.
But I don't think they've come yet. I think
Do
they're.
you say, do you do?
For a moment.
When it all comes down.
I was a fan.
Oh, I love this
For
band.
a moment, I enjoyed them.
Oh, and this guy had Gwen Stefani when she was at her peak.
But she was still a little ska girl.
Good stuff.
He had it.
Who'd have thought? Blake Shelton. Well done, Blake.
I know. You know, Gavin Rossdale's like, who? Blake what?
My Eskimo bro, Blake.
What? That guy? That fella? Oh, gross.
Oh.
I bet he's done okay for himself since then.
I think he's had his
Yeah,
fair share.
he's probably been around.
He might have had equal, but nothing better.
No, than Blake? No, nothing. The question now becomes because the Spurs don't have another big. It becomes who eats up those minutes, and like how do you even construct this like an everyday roster? Okay, so now let's just say you decide Jeremy Sohan's our center for the rest of the year, which I hate that first of all, but secondly, Okay, well, who's your backup center now? And
Bassey's hurt, so until it's our new dude or Mamu. I mean, and Mamu runs hot and cold, man. Whatever he does, boy, it makes the coaches mad.
But doesn't that go back to the clips from Mitch a week ago where he was saying everything we're doing is a mix of trying to win, but also seeing what we've got for next year.
Yeah, this is
what our future looks like.
That is now 80% of the pie for the rest of the year. What are we going to look like next year?
And it seems everyone has decided that Mamu is not a part of the future. The fact that he got 0 minutes last night lets you know it's not him.
It just whatever it is, it ain't working.
Is Bismack Biyombo part of your future?
No.
I mean, this is a guy who got drafted in 2011.
He might not be part of next month.
Yeah. So I get you've got to put somebody out there, and maybe it is. I mean, how old is Bismack Biyombo? Like
I don't care.
He's a million.
That doesn't matter.
He's 32 years old.
Okay.
He's certainly not on, and he's not the kind of player that even if he was on your timeline, like that you'd want him around necessarily.
He came here to do something that he's no longer going to need to do. He came here to work on Wemby's big man game. That's the 10-day contract, was to sit at the end of the bench, and whenever we have practice, your job is to lean on Victor. That's why he's here. He wasn't even really here to even play. He was here to sit in the graveyard, sit way down there just in case.
Be the Haslam role.
Yeah, seriously. So that role isn't even required. So he might be here for the rest of the year. There might be a revolving door. There might not be anybody come. It doesn't matter. So that part of the plan, we know what it is now. It is now a 6-week, 7-week tryout. We're going to do I would like to think we're going to do all kinds of interesting things to see what will be fun next year.
Okay, so at what point do we see Harrison Ingram?
I would like to think he's already on a bus. Well, not on a bus. Give him the uniform now.
Pick him up. Yeah, pick him up where you're in town.
Well, yes, it's time for Harrison Ingram. It would have been time for City Sissoko. It's time for the two-ways. This is, what are we doing? I mean, we weren't a playoff team with him. We're going to aspire to a 5-game run?
It doesn't make much sense, but yeah, I think it's time to start seeing what these guys can do.
Well, let's go brass tacks here. Is Mitch in the middle of a tryout or not? Because that matters.
I think Mitch's tryout's over.
Okay, so we have to assume that he will not be the head coach next year, regardless.
I think that's safe to assume.
I hope that's the case because I don't want him coaching for his job. I want him coaching for the team's future, and there's a big difference. So let's assume that things that are now being done are in preparation for next year for whoever's driving the boat. And if that's the case, then we should get an opportunity to go and try some things and do some of the things like we were talking about yesterday. A small ball lineup might not win you a lot of games, but it'll teach you some things.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So I don't know what the future holds, but I think we were looking at the rundown, 29 games left. If they win more than 10 games before the end of the season to close this thing out, they have tactically failed.
This Harrison Ingram stats in Austin this year, 19 games, 11 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, 9.2 rebounds per game, 4 assists, a block, and 2 turnovers.
What's his
about 30 minutes a game.
What's he shooting?
40%.
That's worthy. I mean, it's not worthy to pull you up in a regular time, but yes, good.
Let's see it. Let's see what he's got. And it's not like this is a guy who was, I mean, this is a grown man. Like he's a 24 something. He's not like this isn't Steph Castle who's like a year out of college. Like this is a guy he's grown. Let's just see it. Now's the time to do that stuff, in my opinion. I'm of the belief that this season is now just an experiment, because any expectations are now off the table. And you said it the other day when the Pop thing happened, boy, you had to temper expectations.
And now you got to recalibrate again.
I think so. The goal was, and really the goal of the team right now is everybody. How does everybody best fit with Victor Wembanyama? He's not on the floor. Well, now what? I do think there is value in De'Aaron Fox playing for a little while because De'Aaron Fox is going to have to learn how he operates with Steph. He's going to have to learn how to operate with, to an extent, Vassell and Harrison Barnes and Keldon and these guys. But if what people are saying that De'Aaron needs a hand surgery, if that's the case, give me about 2 more weeks. And then, you know what, De'Aaron, you go ahead and sit out too, Bubba.
I'm going to leave it to you, brother. If you want to go now,
yeah,
you can go.
You make the call.
I've seen enough. I know I'm going to pay you as much money as I can possibly shovel your way. So you can go ahead and take some time off if you'd like.
And I'm telling Chris Paul, hey, bub, your service here has been invaluable. You've done what you came here to do, and give him the choice.
You want us to buy you out?
Yeah. Do you want to take your check for the year and then go sign with a team that's got a chance to do something? No one here is gonna be mad at you. We're gonna pat you on the back and thank you.
And I think Chris Paul's due a league favor. Go pick your team, man. And we promise the commissioner won't shut it down like he did the last time you had an opportunity to go. So go pick your team, bro. Maybe the Celtics will take you.
Yeah. Give that dude a chance to go win a ring.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like to think he'd go, no, man, I'm here. And I want to be here next year too.
And if he says that, I'm not going to talk. I'll say I can't talk to you about next year. But if you want to be here for the rest of the year, you're here.
No, I'll promise him next year if you would. Shoot, I'll be happy to have Chris Paul. So, but I don't believe that's the case, and I do believe I believe he wants to go get a ring, and I'll do everything I can to help him.
I'd have to have a healthy conversation with Chris about his minutes count next year.
I ain't paying you a whole bunch of money, but I'm happy to have you.
Yeah, and you'll probably get about 10 minutes a game.
Whatever it takes, but if you're happy to be here, man, I'll be happy to keep you around. I'll take you to lunch once a week.
Everything now has to be built around figuring out who is really a part of this team and who is not.
Well, you know what, for me, more than anything now, I got to start thinking about who's going to be coach. I really do. I need something from the Spurs now. Okay, we've wound down this season. This season's over. And I know we're not going to jump the gun, but this does kind of matter. And it matters more than the blood thinner that Wemby's going to take. It matters more because this is truly, as much as the draft pick for Flag, the draft pick for Wemby, we're talking about the very future of this team. We've done this. We haven't done this in a quarter century. We got to get this right. And the fact that I saw some Pop's driving to work, that's good. I hope it's Pop. I pray to gosh that he shows up and he's ready to go to work next year, but I kind of need to start thinking about it. I mean, it's not just about Wemby's shoulder and De'Aaron fitting in and who's going to be the draft pick. Who the hell's going to be the coach?
Yeah, and the more I think about it, Rob, if Greg Popovich was in a place that he could come back and like we would expect him to come back and be a semblance of what he was, I think they would have put him in front of us by now. They would have done something.
Man. I do. So should we be talking about, okay, before we discuss plans and players, don't we kind of got to figure out who's going to be making these decisions and running the show?
Because if the next time we see Greg Popovich, he's looking like Dick Clark, nobody wants that.
So yes,
but I think we would have known something by now. Like I really and you know what, Greg Popovich has the right to say whether he can coach or not. I think to an extent, like he's earned the
without a doubt.
Yeah, he's earned the right to say, hey, I can do this or I can't do this. I don't know that anybody in the Spurs organization should be able to tell him what he's doing, but the Spurs do need to figure out what the plan is long term. And if this was Mitch Johnson was like the guy he was in waiting, they need to reconsider that, certainly. That we've seen enough to go, yeah, he's not there. And he's not, especially not there to be with this young team.
But if they have made that decision, it's time to clarify it because it's about to get weird. And if you are going to keep Mitch around next year, it's hard to place a lot of trust in a dude whose now sole goal is not to win basketball games. It's to do other things, and that's an unquantifiable thing. You can say, well, we're going to keep you around, Mitch, but we got to make sure that now Keldon can go right. I'd like to win some games, but we'll work on his going right in whatever. That's kind of a broad stroke kind of thing.
Right.
But I want to have whoever's in control coaching for the team and not for themselves.
Well, imagine being Mitch and hearing like, hey, yeah, we don't worry about winning games. Okay, well, if I'm Mitch, my next question is, so is Pop going to be back next year? Because if he's not, and you're not winning games, there's going to be a new coach making that decision.
Right.
And, like, nobody's going to take this job and go, oh, you can't, the assistants you've got, these are your assistants. You're stuck with them. Like, that's, who's going to take that?
We haven't gone for. I have no idea what's going to happen. We haven't done this in 25 years.
We don't know what a coaching hire looks like.
I don't know what a new coach looks like when we come in. The last coach came downstairs. He was the general manager.
Yeah. All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Business taxes. We're stressing about all the time and all the money you spent on your taxes.
This is my bill?
Now Business Taxes is a TurboTax small business expert who does your taxes for you and offers year-round advice at no additional cost, so you can keep more money in your business. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com/business. Only available with TurboTax Live full service.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Many of the successes you've had began with a great opportunity. Now, here's another one. Get started on your degree or certificate in San Antonio. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs, faster onboarding, and more from University of Maryland Global Campus. Get personalized local support services and take online or hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hi, I got hurt in a wreck, but I don't know if it's really worth getting an attorney.
Don't worry, you called the right place.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7, and you don't pay unless we win. We recently secured a jury verdict for $210 million in a wrongful death case. So if you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-334-2266. That's 800-334-2266. 800-334-2266.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Is this also Chicago? Or is Boston?
I don't think that's either of these.
No? Oh. Work. Morning Huddle 94.1. I don't know what to expect of the game tonight. I don't know. I watched a little of the game last night after the hockey.
Is Jalen Duren healthy? Jalen Duren's playing. I expect a healthy dose of power centered to the paint.
Yeah, that's I'm not just from the game itself, but like what the environment, like
I think you're probably still pumping on adrenaline. I'll be honest, I didn't watch the game last night. I was watching hockey. And
did you watch after the hockey? You went to bed. You were done.
It was 11 o'clock by the time I had a chance. So no, I saw nothing but highlights. It doesn't surprise me they won on adrenaline. I mean, it's kind of cool. They're back in Austin. I'm sure it was a big party yesterday. They were kind of show ponies and showed off to the city. So
KD was in Austin too.
Yeah, so everybody went and had a good time, and they won a fun basketball game. But at some point, adrenaline wears off, and you got to go play a game. And you're about to play a team in Detroit that kind of believes in themselves, that has a purpose in this. They're headed up. They're playing better basketball. Kind of closing out a season where they can kind of see a future after years of just waste and bad picks after bad picks. So I think tonight will be kind of not a rude awakening, but kind of a return to what I expect this team to look like.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a fair expectation. The line for tonight is the Pistons favored by 4.5, 5 points.
That feels right.
Again, it was hard for me to gauge because I didn't see the entirety of the game, certainly, but I'd like to gauge what the crowd was like. I'll say this, from my time living in Austin, even when things are going great, Austin sports fan is at their peak moderately engaged.
Last year, they sold out. Last year, it was a party. You know, Wemby's first year running through there, it was a big deal, but it was also the first year, So, yeah, I'll be really curious to see what it looks like. I have a feeling it's still going to be a party. I mean, it's Friday night in Austin. This has been a big deal. People lined up to get these tickets.
And it's a very intimate venue.
Yeah, I'm really eager to see this place.
Yeah.
It certainly has. It certainly isn't going to be what we thought it was going to be. It was going to be so much fun to see De'Aaron and Wemby run together for the first time and all that. So we're not going to get to see that. I'll say, looking at the stat line, De'Aaron did what De'Aaron was brought here to do, and that's just to go get buckets when nothing else works. And 26 last night tells me that probably a lot of that was freelance. Just go get some buckets because nobody else can.
We were talking about like kind of playing toward the future. The other thing that Wemby being out and potentially at some point De'Aaron wrapping it up for the year could mean we go back to these nights where Devin Vassell puts up 25 points per game and pump his value back up to something that could get you a piece that fits you a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Devin Vassell is the kind of player who is built to score a bunch of points on a bad team.
Maybe. See, this is when we're getting into, are you coaching to win? Are you coaching for the value of your team? Because that's not going to be what Devin ever is. So, and I'm not sure he's done as a Spur. I'm not. So I got to, especially if I'm Mitch Johnson, I got to coach like, what is he going to be like when Wemby's out here? What is that going to be? That's what we've got to be doing now, not go get 26, and that's going to be part of what he has to do. But right now, if De'Aaron Fox doesn't lead us in scoring 90% of the time,
he should, but I'm saying once if they decide to sit him out,
it's on purpose. Is what the words I was trying to come up with. He doesn't lead us in scoring. It's on purpose. It's kind of like they said Dean Smith was the only guy that could hold Michael under 20.
Yeah.
So the only way we hold De'Aaron under us being leading scorer is because we've decided that's going to be how it goes, which I'm happy with. But I don't know how to shake this thing out because I don't know who's going to be coaching. I know we got some draft picks coming. I know we can't bottom out. It's too late to go all in on this. So I do want to see improvement with some wins because we can't be – there's no way we can get worse than 6th by my math.
Yeah. The other thing the Spurs are like the Spurs are going to be the rebounding for this team.
Oh, or a donut that just became a bigger donut.
They were 11th in the league in rebounding with Wembanyama. I mean, I expect them to be bottom 10 going forward because they just don't have. There's no size on this team. So I don't know. The whole idea of punting the year is something that I think they can do without making it blatant. And that's like the beauty of I say the beauty. This sucks. The Wemby thing sucks, but it gives you an opportunity to say, let's hit reset. Let's see what we can do. Not hit reset. I shouldn't say it that way.
Kind of reset. We're scrambling these eggs.
Let's hit reset on the season, not on the franchise. Yeah. Let's hit reset on this season. Let everybody in the locker room know, hey man, we want to see good effort out of you guys, but the truth is, we're trying to get better. We don't expect you guys to go make these playoffs.
I want the team to suck and you to play great.
We expect you guys to try your best.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure we'll get some more Spurs talk in later. We'll talk the hockey game on the other side. I want to see if Rob walked away impressed. I want to see if Vic actually watched. We'll talk about that next. Morning Huddle 94.1.
This is the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Lowe's knows that your deadlines don't change, even when your job does. But with Lowe's Buy Online, Pick Up in Store, we'll help you adjust on the fly. And when you absolutely can't leave the project, we can deliver to your job site as soon as same day. Lowe's knows pros. We help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SERVE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text SERVE to 42424. That's SERVE to 42424.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away, so the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like we do have a trouble spot on 35 northbound, Tupperwine. Disabled vehicle. They moved it off to the shoulder. On 35 lower level, southbound from Main Street to Cesar Chavez, that's got road work and the roadway reduced to 2 lanes. So that's about a 15-minute commute right now. Stop and go from 35 lower, upper level split. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line. We'll check it out, 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
Tough news for the San Antonio Spurs yesterday as it was announced Victor Wembanyama will be shut down for the rest of the season for what has been diagnosed as deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. The early exit will cause Wemby to be ineligible for Defensive Player of the Year awards due to the number of games he will miss. In hockey news, the Four Nations face-off is complete as Canada beat USA 3-2 in overtime. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenicshealth.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Bomb! Bum, bum. Hour number 2 of the Huddle. AJ and Rob on a Friday. You haven't played my girl's song yet, Vic. What's up with that?
Oh, it's coming.
Got to get down on Friday. We know that.
Yeah.
Fun, 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 fun. Looking forward to the weekend.
I can't wait.
Rob, what percentage of the hockey match did you watch last night?
I watched all of it and the pregame.
What?
I watched the Chuck stories.
Was your wife pissed? Was she like, what are you watching?
She was down. We had my dad was over and my son. We were all.
They all watched the game?
All in our flags in America. No, it was a compelling event last night, and I enjoyed all of it till the end. No, I watched every bit of it. I was all in. I liked the pregame because it kind of gave me some of those threads that I knew existed. I just didn't know what they were. So I got a lot of the plot line. And I liked the fire-up stuff with the Miracle on Ice stuff, either the movies or the highlights. Those were awesome. The game was well played, exactly what you'd expect from two highly talented squads. It wasn't going to be a shootout for sure, but there was enough offense to keep you compelled. Both teams had a lead. Both teams played defense. It just came down to one dude. The goalie had a game. And that's hockey, man. Hot goalie.
Yeah, that was the thought for me was the U.S. had the best. The U.S. has the best goalie in the world. Connor Hellebuck has been the best goalie for the last 2 years, and all of the talk for Canada, and this includes like Canadians. We're like, Jordan Binnington is the best guy we've got. That's who we're going to put in goal. Are you sure?
Well, I'm sold.
And yeah, last night he was a dude. And the first goal that Helly gave up, the first goal that Canada scored wasn't really his fault.
That was a laser, man. I mean, no one could have stopped that.
No.
That went through like 8 guys.
But you know what, man? When they let McDavid score that last goal, I'm sitting there watching the game with my cat, and
did Blueberry get mad?
Well, she got mad because I kept moving around because I was very animated, and every time 97 had the puck, I would say, "Get it away from him! Get it away from him! Get it away from him!" And when I saw the whole thing unfold. It was like slow motion, seeing what was going to happen. I was like, that dude is in the middle. No. He is in the middle with no one around him. That is the best hockey player in the world. And, of course, he buries one. Mm-hmm. And
how does that guy get so open?
All the guys and the defenseman who was standing there next to Hellebuck when it went in was Noah Hannafin, who's a Golden Knight. Mm-hmm. And you saw his head, like he looked at the puck and his head just dropped. And it was like, that's exactly how I felt. I was like, no! But again, I saw it all in slow motion, and it was just, it sucked. It was such a good game. I enjoyed it. I hope that people who tried hockey for the first time last night saw that it's probably.
I will go back. I won't go back today. Like, I'm going to go find a game.
No, certainly.
That's not going to happen. And it was such an anticlimactic, like, it's over? It just, we're not going to play the whole overtime.
No, but I see it. That's one of the things I love about hockey.
Yeah. No, I get it. No, I was hoping we would get a chance. But, no, I'm all about when you go home. But, I remember when the game was over and I look at my son, and I was like, well, back to the regularly scheduled programming. Like back to what I would have ordinarily been watching because I'll pay attention to hockey in that there's money to be made. But really, it's not going to be required programming.
It can't get into your rotation. No. What about in the playoffs? Will you
No, I've tried too many years. One year I adopted a team, and I'll watch kind of like any other event kind of thing. Like, if there's a compelling luge contest on, I'm in for a day, but I'm not in for a season.
Okay.
So it's just not in my wheelhouse, and unless I was in a city where I had to be force-fed or could go get it every day, it's just not going to be something in my sports calendar. When hockey is things that people are watching, my sports calendar, for whatever reason, tells me I'm watching something else.
Now, you were around when the Rampage was here.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to games? Was it intriguing?
I mean, as intriguing as double and triple A hockey can be in San Antonio. You know, my kids had their birthday parties. I went to probably 50 games over the years. So, yeah, I mean, it is not even close to what it is, what an NHL game is.
Where'd they play at?
Played in two places. They played for a minute in the Alamo Dome. They played at the Frost Center. They played at Joe Freeman.
Freeman, yeah.
They played all over the place.
Freeman's the one that's right next door to the. That's where we saw the gunslingers play.
Yeah, and the when we had the highest level we had, they played at the Frost.
Okay.
It was that was the Rampage, right? Yeah, not the Iguanas.
The Iguanas was like that was
a beer league.
That was the first iteration.
Yeah, that was just basically a beer league. And then the Rampage was like double AAA. We had dudes either on their way up or on their way down.
Okay.
But never like any NHL game, not even close.
Well, my brother texted me last night and was like, he's like, I like these Kachuk brothers.
Yeah, me too,
man. He's like, I want to adopt a team. Like, who do I cheer for?
Mm-hmm. And who are they with?
Well, one's with
the bald one. Who's the guy?
Columbus and Ottawa.
Who's what?
Ottawa. He's with Ottawa. Yeah,
I can't do Ottawa.
Both the guys
can't do it.
Both the guys who scored last night for U.S. play for Ottawa.
The Canucks?
No, the Senators.
The Senators.
So the two that play for Ottawa have they've never ever won. They've never been in the playoffs. And the other brother has like a Stanley Cup. So
that's
Matthew. He played for Columbus. He plays for Florida now for the Florida Panthers. But yeah. So
they're easy to root for. I mean, it's
likable guys.
The thing about hockey is the dudes are likable for the most part. They're easy to root for. They're regular guys who are good at something.
Yeah,
that's the way every hockey guy comes across, unless you're talking about the legends. But there's just not enough there for me because it's just not a sport that I get the nuance of. I get when I see greatness, and it's so obvious that Canada is to hockey, that America is to basketball. It's just so obvious that those guys are just, there's this innate thing that the Canadians have that we don't. That doesn't mean we can't beat them on a regular, but they do things differently at a young age where they just get more, and we do it in basketball. No matter how good they get it in Europe, no matter how good they get, they ain't going to be better than us. And soccer, no matter how good we get at it, we ain't going to be better than them because there's just this nuance that they get from an early age that we just don't get.
We have closed the gap so much.
And Europe's close, but
I think the U.S. can be better than Canada at hockey, but Canada is still, they're the kings.
Keep in mind, they're distilling. How many people live in Canada?
I don't even have any clue.
Like
9.
Is it 50 million? Maybe
probably something like that. Yeah.
Keep in mind, there's 10 million in New York.
Yeah.
So they're putting together a hockey team essentially out of New York and Los Angeles, and we're putting together our hockey team for the whole freaking country. Now, granted, most of us don't play hockey, but think about how good they are.
40 million.
40 million. So think about it, distilling greatness down to this perfect 12 dudes. We get to do that with basketball. Our whole country plays it. Italy, their top 12 dudes are pretty good, but they'll never be distilled down to where we are. Same way with hockey or soccer. We got a whole country playing soccer, but what builds the greatness on a regular basis, that distilling process, we don't have. It's just not there.
You also have to remember we are limited. The U.S. is limited in how many parts of the country our players can come from.
It might be equal. We might have 40 million people in the United States that have access to hockey, that just even have a rink.
Right.
So we're distilling out of the same population, but of the 40 million, only about 100,000 are playing hockey. And in Canada, all of them are playing hockey. All of them.
It's funny because, you hear a lot of these. I mean, if you play hockey in the U.S., you're from Boston or Minneapolis or Detroit.
Who's the dude that was from, White Knuckle, Montana? some kind of
Whitefish, I think.
Whatever it was. I was like,
Whitefish, Montana.
You better be good at hockey.
But almost all those kids, everywhere in Canada, there's hockey teams. There were so many guys that were like, oh, he lives in a town of 250 people, and they're able to put together a hockey team. If you don't live in most guys who don't live in a big city, you don't have access to hockey in the U.S.
It's kind of like, you got guys that are really good on some teams, and then they go to another team, and everybody in that team's better than them. Doesn't mean this guy's not any good.
Yeah.
It's just the process to make the Canadian hockey team. Think about how good you've got to be, and all of the club levels that you've gone through, and all of the barriers to entry, everything that is done to peel away the average and good to the great. Let's find the great, and how hard it is, how good you've got to be great in Canada.
Yeah.
How far you are legendary status. And the same way with hoops here. I mean, there's just this extra thing that we have with that they have with
the gap
hockey.
Keeps closing.
Oh,
I think it's a gap that can be jumped. It's just not there yet.
Basketball right now, I think if we put their best 12 against our best 12, they might beat us. But what I'm saying is, our best 12, skill for skill, will still be better than their best 12. Doesn't mean they can't beat us in a game.
Right.
But we just have something that
that's
they will never have.
If the U.S. had won last night, it doesn't mean that USA hockey has surpassed Canada hockey.
Not even close, but it just means, this year we got you. But because they're so good.
They are. They've got a special thing going. All right. When we come back, I want to I want to kind of continue this discussion, but I want to talk about because I think a lot of good came out of this tournament, but there was a downside to it. We'll talk about that next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1. I got to tell you about Cerebral, and if you are a person who is on the interwebs, you're on the socials, and you're seeing all the terrible things happening in the world, and it's real easy to get caught up in it. It's real easy to let it bring you down, quite frankly. Sometimes you just need to stop worrying about what's going on outside of your control. Sit down for a little while and focus on you. Imagine you spent 45 minutes just focused on yourself and how you're doing. Cerebral makes it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication that's personalized for you. And the best part, they offer in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. I've been dealing with a lot of personal stress because, I'm going through a life transition. I moved here by myself. My family's still in Las Vegas. It's good to have someone to bounce these things off of. It's good to have someone who will listen to you, talk you through some things, and just make sure your mind is in the right spot. Makes everything better. Makes your sleep better. Makes your diet better. It makes your life better. They are also an official sponsor of the Spurs. And just like athletes have to prioritize their physical health, mental health matters a lot as well. And Cerebral is there to help you build a strong foundation for your overall well-being. Don't forget that your overall well-being includes your mind. Take that first step today. Visit Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral, make time for mind time.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
Are you facing divorce, a child custody battle, or a complex family dispute? AJ here for the Hicks Law Firm. Attorney John Hicks brings unique experience to the table. As a veteran and first responder, he knows the challenges, he knows the pressure, and he knows how to fight for what's yours. The Hicks Law Firm offers flat-free representation from beginning to end and payment plans so you can get representation now. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
He's gonna have some excuse not to be able to play this Saturday. It'll be something that you go, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
You got to go do that instead of go play golf.
Yeah.
Wine tasting?
No, something that I think is a complete waste of time.
You can't say that.
These damn kids today.
Gender reveal?
Yes.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Turner, it's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Yeah, Rob. I see you bobbing your head.
I was saying no. No.
What happens next, Rob? Party and yeah! Yeah! Fun. Looking forward to the weekend. Rob's going to be in the passenger seat on the way to our fun this weekend.
Oh, yeah? You're going to bump this on the way
we'll
up
play
there?
it on repeat the whole way there.
Oh.
Can't wait.
My friend is by my right, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to go to
Now
the mall.
you know it.
Get our ears pierced.
Yeah.
You're going to go to Claire's?
Go to Claire's.
That's partying.
Try on
Yeah.
some makeup.
Which seat
Can't
can
wait.
Rob take? Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Oh, man, what a song. What a song. Morning Huddle 94.1. The downside, the ugly underbelly of the hockey last night was the political overtones that surrounded it. And that part was not very fun for me.
I thought we handled it about as well as I thought the Boston crowd could have. I was pretty proud of them.
Yeah, there was a little bit of booing at the start of the
anthem. I think
anthem.
everybody's neighbor who saw the people booing told them to shut up, and I think everybody kind of calmed down. And I mean,
and I said, I get it. They deserved after what they did. They deserved it. I said, but remember, we already punched them in the face for that. Like,
we already that's been adjudicated.
Like, let's class it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And after the game, of course, no one said a thing to me about that until after the game. And then I had a bunch of people with Canadian flags in my mentions. Your fault for voting in that piece of bleep. 5 Canadian flags. Canada won the war. Crimea River, USA hockey fan. Best talent prevailed, clearly.
Hey, man, own it, Canada.
And then this guy named Alexander, who is apparently like very, very angry. Your bleeping piece of crap president decided to come after Canada. That's the only reason the great people of Canada booed your anthem. We didn't start bleep. Your dumbass convicted felon president started the bleep. Oh, by the way, why doesn't he go after China or Russia? Y'all dumbass Americans elected a bleeping convicted felon, sexual predator, narcissistic sociopath, pathological lying con man. Y'all punched yourselves in the bleep. Right now, the entire planet is booing America. Oh, right, except for Russia. Y'all are bleeped for the next 4 years. We won the war. Go Canada. F you, hillbilly. Why does your president wear more makeup than your mama? Oh, Canada, F America.
All of that is true.
Wow. That was like that. This guy was angry.
A good rant.
No, the best thing about this is, in the truest Canadian thing, he thinks the war is fought on a hockey rink.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, yeah, we won the war. And I'm like, you mean the hockey game? You won a hockey game. But to them, that's the war. They did it. So more power to you, man. You own it.
Well, Canada, they don't fight wars.
I mean,
it's not their thing.
No, they do. They do. They fight valiantly. They're side by side with us.
They don't fight. Have you seen the Black Friday? How Canada's go in there? Canadians are all just all
they
orderly
landed on Utah Beach. I mean, they hit the beach with us. The Canadians have been side by side with us in a lot of places.
I don't like that this became like a political thing. I mean, and it's funny because it like obviously there were so many ties into the Miracle on Ice thing last night that we saw.
Oh,
I mean, it was. And I thought the ESPN did a really good job with it.
Wonderful job.
Like they were taking, for anybody who didn't watch it, they were taking Kurt Russell's speeches from Miracle, and then when it would pan away from Kurt Russell, instead of showing the Miracle on Ice players, it showed the current Team USA players, like they were all watching the speech. And it was very powerful. It was very cool. I love the way that they did it.
You have to keep in mind the political current at the time. It was 1980. We had a brand new president in Reagan who was certainly doing a lot of the stuff that Trump is doing, not quite to the level of, pomposity, but I mean, he was reshaping the world. We were not looked upon very fondly around. The Cold War was in full play, and Europeans did not like the fact that we had missiles in their backyard. We had troops all over that place, and it wasn't safe to go to Europe. They didn't want us around. It feels, last night felt very much like it was back in 1980, where it was us, and everybody else looked at us like we were falling apart. There's a lot of similarities to a lot of stuff that went on last night, except for the loss. But, yeah, I get it. But this is that's why it made last night so compelling, because there is the backdrop. That's why every now and then when sports and world events cross, it makes that even more impressionable. So, yeah, that's part of the international sports. I mean, it was good-hearted. I think at the end of the day, with everybody, the Canadians walked out. I don't think they were, assaulted by anybody. I think everybody was patting them on the back like, hey, man.
Now, I will say, now that you've kind of painted it in this light, you said something at the beginning when you were talking about, oh, it's funny that they think Canadians won the war because they won a hockey game. But if you remember what was the sentiment in 1980?
Oh,
it was
true.
Like
it was
that was much more than a hockey game.
Keep
that
in mind,
was like a
Cold War. That was the evil empire, and those guys had missiles pointed at us.
Right.
Those guys had rifles pointed at us just on the other side of a bridge in the middle of Berlin. Those guys embodied so much more. And I can see how the Canadians look at us and like, we embody all of that. The tariffs, the president. Yeah, it meant a lot. I'm sure Canadians had a good time.
But it also felt like they won, like the U.S. won at least a battle against Russia, even though it was on an ice rink.
It meant everything.
It was a much bigger deal than a hockey game. I don't know that this was a bigger deal than a hockey game.
No.
It's a different circumstance. But my hat's off to Canada. I would personally like one. There were Golden Knights on that team. Mark Stone played a great game last night. Unfortunately, one of their better defensemen is one of my favorite players, and he's hurt, but he was on that team as well. It was hard for me to see because Mark Stone was one of the starters, so he came out with the starters, and when they announced the starters, they booed the hell out of him, and I was like, "Oh, that sucks, man."
No, man, I would have eaten that like candy. I'd have loved that. Are you talking to man? In that building playing for Canada? Oh, man, I'd have eaten that up. That'd have been great.
I guess I've just never seen it. Like, every time I've seen Mark Stone play, it's like the crowd's like, he's the captain of the Golden Knights. He's like the senior statesman. He's the man.
He's the good guy.
He's the hero.
So if you're used to getting cheered, you get booed like that, man, that's wonderful. Oh.
I was proud last night. There was, you remember the moment where the USA was on a penalty kill, and Jack Eichel.
You have to give me numbers.
Number 9,
okay,
lost his stick.
Oh yeah,
so they were already down 5-4, and he kicked that puck. That was like my proudest moment. I was like,
cool.
I was like, it wasn't like scoring a goal, but it was like saving a goal. Quite frankly,
it's one of those things. If you're a coach and you see a player do that, you highlight it to every team. Look what you can do. Just by knowing the game.
I was like, that's my dude right there. Let's go, baby.
I thought we were going to win at that moment. I thought, man, we're doing this. We're going to win this thing.
I did too. I said everything is going the right way. Listen, man, it's especially an overtime hockey game. Anything can happen. It does kind of feel like I'm a little bit cursed on these things. Like I think back to the overtime game with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Bills. It's like, give me one of these things. Give me one coin flip that goes my way.
Hurt. This kind of like, your local high school team that you didn't have a kid playing on the team, but you just wanted them to win. That sucks. But
I got more emotionally invested than I thought I would. I really wanted this, and I was actually like kind of bummed out last night. And then, of course, I get called a hillbilly, and
shoe fits.
What do I do? I mean,
He's a syrup sucking Canuck.
I did call them syrup suckers, and I think maybe that was my offense, and maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Sometimes you got to stand tall.
But we are overalls on, and your piece of wheat hanging out of your mouth, and that straw hat and the corn pipe.
I got so mad when I saw that comment. I threw my sister wife off of me, and I
put down that jug.
Put down my jug of moonshine, and I said,
"Yeah, you got them pigs out of the house."
Slapped the pigs out of the house and wrote a sternly written letter.
That's right. I said, honey, you go tell my nephew's son that he go get his rifle.
His musket.
My nephew's son. And then I went back and noodled catfish out of my swimming pool.
Oh yeah.
You had to catch dinner. I mean, we got to eat.
Yeah.
I stuck my arm down in the pool filter and yeah,
You got him.
got him.
Got him. And he went alligator hunting and stuff.
Isn't everyone in Canada kind of a hillbilly? Maybe like if you don't live in Toronto or Montreal, like you're kind of a hillbilly, right?
I don't know. I
got
assume,
news. I think if you
I just
live
feel
in
like they're always cold.
I think if you live in Calgary or Saskatoon or Winnipeg, you're probably a hillbilly. Like,
yeah, because there's nothing there.
No,
it's all woods.
Most of Canada is like
moose.
Montana.
So yeah, they're a coastal country. There's not much in the middle.
Yeah, there's like moose. They've got a Seattle and they've got like a New York and a Philly is what they've got.
Got that little place on the other side of Detroit, but that's kind of coastal anyway. They're on water. No, there's not a whole lot up there.
Let's also face it. Northern Michiganders are basically hillbillies.
Yeah, they're hillbillies. Yeah, they're country bumpkins. They're bumpkins more than hillbillies.
Yeah. No, I listen. Like I said, I wanted it for myself, obviously, but I did want to have I thought the U.S. was in a spot where we could have all used some good vibes. It would have been cool for us to all have something to rally around.
I do want one thing I will rally around. I'm gonna end up buying one of their soccer hoodie jersey.
One of those
combos.
sweaters.
Those are cool.
You like that?
I like the hoodie ones.
Okay.
Those are cool.
Are you gonna get one with a name on the back? A Kachuk?
I would get a Kachuk. That was a good story.
I liked in the pregame when Keith was on the broadcast and they had Bradley mic'd up.
Oh yeah.
And they said like everybody asked him a question and he said, "Hey Bradley, it's your dad. Have I ever told you about the '96 World Cup?" And then he was like, "No, tell me more, Pops."
Not once have you
no
brought
one
up
he's
a
heard
Glory
that damn
Days
story a billion times. And then he was like, "Hey man, just go out there, take care of your brother, and have some fun." And it's like stuff like that. But that's when I was like, "Dude, I want these guys to win.
Oh, awesome!
I want them to win." And
so I didn't know Keith isn't in the Hall of Fame.
Not surprising. Yeah, Keith is he was a good, because remember it's not like basketball where it's an international Hall of Fame. I think there's an NHL Hall of Fame.
I just remember the name.
Yeah, he was a good player. He wasn't like a legendary.
Again, I thought when I first saw the Kachucks that it was father-son. I thought, man, he's still playing.
No. He's
still in the league.
But they did bring up, and the odds of having one son after you were a pro athlete, a high-level pro athlete, having one son make it, they're very long. Having two make it, it's like... That's wild. And I guess, LeVar Ball did it, but LeVar Ball wasn't a...
Oh, he'll tell you. He shut down Jordan at some point.
But, it's so rare.
Oh, it's good genes. There's no question. Genetically, those guys are different.
Yeah. And I was telling you, Popeye Jones, who played in the NBA for years, his son played hockey professionally. It was pretty damn good, too, for the Predators. So it is funny that, there's a lot of second-generation hockey guys, you go back to, the Hulls and things like that, the Howes. It goes a long way back. But, yeah, because, like you said, there's a small population of the country that plays hockey. And
for here, the families, I get it. In Canada, the fact that there's guys that can have kids that go pro, and, that's the crazy thing, because there are so few that are trying for so much fewer spots.
Yep.
They're that good. And it was obvious last night. You can always tell when great is playing great. It just, even though the score doesn't reflect it and you don't really know what's going on, you can tell these guys are doing it different.
There's a different level of intensity.
Who is 86 for us? Small dude. That guy moves on skates like no one I'd ever seen before. He didn't have that big effect on the game, other than he was always seemed to be in the right place. And I could always tell, no matter what was supposed to be happening, it felt like the right thing was happening for both teams. There weren't mistakes being made.
I gotta see who you're talking about now. But yeah, that was I walked away from it feeling good, not as good as I thought I could have felt. But I was proud of how our boys played. Like you said, there was some moments where it was like when Eichel kicked away that puck, and I was like, you know what, man, these dudes are out there. They are giving it their absolute all. Joel Farabee?
Maybe
so. 86. I didn't
That's
really
poetry, man.
I didn't see much.
It didn't
of him
have a
last
big
night.
effect on the game, but the way these guys are capable of moving on their skates is ridiculous. Now, the good thing for this is if they can hold on to the momentum, we're a year away from Winter Olympics. We're going to get to see Team USA reform.
Oh, Jack Hughes is who you're talking about. Oh, yeah. Jack Hughes he's one of our best players.
Dude's a baller. I'm just, for a guy who's a novice trying to pick up the nuances of the game, watching what he did in the center of the ice, he's something else.
But you know what? Now you're and now I'm so interested in the Olympics next year. And I feel like we've got a chance, which kind of gets me excited. And it feels like maybe there's revenge.
So hold on to this momentum, and we'll be doing it again this time next year.
But also
in Italy.
If you watched, and they showed the highlights of it, and it's crazy to think that this happened in 2010, but when Sid Crosby beat us in overtime in the gold medal game in 2010.
I was at EA Sports at the time.
That was oh man, that hurt. And it felt very similar last night. Sidney Crosby at the time was the best player in the world, unquestionably.
And then here comes Connor.
And Connor McDavid, who is unquestionably the best player in the world, did it to us last night. It's like, son of a bitch.
Canadian bastards.
We need to get the best player in the world on our team is what we need. That's what we need. All right. Let's hit a break. I got to tell you guys about Carbach. I had some last night. I went out there. I went to Round Table Pizza last night. And that was Joe Reinagel. I was like, hey, man, you want me to come out and help you jump on this mic, wrap up the show? And he was like, they got Crawford Bach. Come on, Bubba. And they sure did. Crawford Bach and Love Street on tap out there at Round Table Pizza. And, oh, man, it was so good. They had a happy hour. It was $3 for a pint. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Then went home. What did I do? Drink more Crawford Bach, of course. While I'm watching hockey, I had to do that. It's all over the city, man. I'm telling you. The restaurants you go to, the bars you go to, chances are they've got some Carbach either on tap or in packages. And again, like I said, you're going to find it at all the restaurant or all the liquor stores, all the HEBs, of course. But these restaurants and bars, Carbach made a concerted effort to get their product to you all over San Antonio. If you like the Crawford Bach like I do, the Love Street is their that's what Joe had. It's their Cole style blonde, really smooth, really easy drinking. And then the Hopadillo you'll see a lot of as well. That's their in-your-face IPA, super bitter, super hop forward. They also right now in stores have a Hoplectic out, which is their seasonal IPA. Very well balanced, beautiful beer that is, it's still fresh, just brand new out of the package. You're going to really enjoy that if you're an IPA fan. Whatever you do when you're out and about this weekend, go ahead and ask your bartender, please make it a Carbach.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like a couple of new trouble spots. 35 northbound Tupperwine, disabled vehicle off to the shoulder. Another stall at 90 eastbound just past Nogalitos, right shoulder blocked. And a minor accident right at the intersection of Floyd Pearl at Medical. Now downtown, this ongoing road work on 35 lower level, southbound Main to Cesar Chavez. That's got the roadway reduced to 2 lanes, causing a 10-12 minute delay. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas. I absolutely love the Golf Club of Texas. They've made so many improvements to the golf course, from brand new cart paths to resodding the greens and fairways. You might think it's a private club, but it's not. It's open to the public 7 days a week. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
So without LSD, Pink Floyd wouldn't be Pink Floyd.
I would agree.
Kind of happened with me with weed in college. I had my Pink Floyd moment, sat in Indian style in my dorm room and listened to some Floyd, and I felt it. I was like in it. I've never seen God, but I did see Pink Floyd.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Hey, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATS.
The most exciting weekend in college basketball starts here. Don't miss the 2025 State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships. Witness the nation's top dunkers and sharpshooters battle it out live in person. One epic night of unbelievable skill and electrifying energy. Thursday, April 3rd at the Frost Bank Center. Tickets are going fast. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. See you April 3rd for the State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships. The most exciting weekend in college basketball starts here. One night, pure action. Don't miss it.
Right now at North Park Chevrolet, own a new 2024 Silverado Crew Cab posted at $33,999 or lease for $0 down and $370 a month. Get 1.9% financing on all new 2024 Colorado trucks. A new 2025 Equinox LT is posted at only $25,999 plus 2.9% financing. Together, let's drive at North Park Chevrolet. 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville or at npchevy.com. Must qualify for financing offers. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
The NFL lives right here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the original Friday song.
This is Yaz, Allison Moyer. Upstairs at Eric's.
You hear him laughing? Gotta get down on Friday. Automatic says, now that's a cool-looking logo and name for a hockey team, the Predators. Why don't you follow those guys, Rob?
Predators aren't bad. That's not bad. That's Florida. I can't do it.
No, that's Nashville.
Oh, Nashville. I can't do that either.
The Predators were my favorite team.
What's in
before
Florida?
The Knights? The
Panthers.
The Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Can't do Tampa.
Yeah, both Florida, and both have had quite a bit of success.
The Goons in Tampa, yeah.
Florida's the defending champions, and the year before that, they lost in the finals to the Knights.
Can't do Florida. Nashville Predators, I could maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
My favorite player now plays for the Predators.
But I was thinking I was going to just fall in with the Kraken, either the Kraken or the Utah, whatever Utah's going to be. What are they?
You got to wait till they get a name.
They were going to be
they want to be the Yeti.
See, they almost had me.
That'd be a good one. And their color scheme is good. It's like Carolina blue and navy. Like they look awesome.
But until otherwise, it's the Kraken.
Okay.
Because I want to release the Kraken.
That's a pretty new one. It's a pretty new one. I had season tickets to the Predators when I lived in Nashville. When I was in college, I got gifted season tickets by one of the players. They were like a brand new team.
Yeah, they were good.
And the Predators I say the Predators. Hockey players in general, like, are not like your typical pro athlete. You're not going to see Victor Wembanyama typically just hanging out at a bar. Like, he's not going to post up at a Buffalo Wild Wings and just hang out. Hockey players will do that. Like they'll just show up at a bar and order a beer and just stand next to you like they're just dudes.
I've never been around them. They just always have seemed to me like regular guys that are really good at something.
That's what they are, and a lot of them come from like middle of nowhere.
But they don't get paid quite to the level of the rest of the leagues, do they? I mean, your average hockey player probably make a couple million a year, I would assume.
Let's see. Jack Hughes is a good example, the guy you were asking about. Let's see what Jack Hughes' salary is. Annual salary, $8 million a year.
So so he's doing, but
yeah, they're not making like NBA or quarterback money.
If they wanted to be bougie, they could be such and get away with it.
Oh yeah. I mean, Connor McDavid makes $12.5 million. He's the best player in the league, best player in the world.
Wow,
$12.5 million.
That's a very good kind of. It's all relative because $12.5 million is a pittance in the NBA.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Or like even in baseball, and it's wild.
Baseball doesn't even matter. Yeah,
but again, it's all relative to what your audience is.
Oh, I get it. No, you're right. But I think because we judge them against the other leagues that they seem like regular guys, but they still got $8 million in the bank.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, like the way that I met this guy who played for the Predators his name was Scott Hartnell. He showed up at my bar all the time. I worked at a bar on Broadway, like right across the street from the stadium, and he would just come drink at the bar.
Yeah,
and
they seem to me, hockey players always seem to me be kind of like on the scale of things, the high-end Arena Football League player. Those guys are fun.
And also
they're still traveling. They're getting paid okay, but they're fun.
And I'm guessing it's probably different in places like Boston or like
where you're really a rock star.
Detroit, or Montreal, like Toronto, these crazed fans. But like, in most cities, like in Dallas, I don't know how many people could pick the fifth or sixth best player on their favorite hockey team out of a lineup. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree. Yeah. I think the helmet and the glass in between and the speed of the game, you don't really know what they look like.
Yeah, like we know what everybody on the Spurs looks like. You know what baseball players look, but it's like offensive linemen. If they weren't just massive men, it would, or like a punter, an NFL punter could just go hang out at the bar next to you, and you probably wouldn't know it.
I guarantee it, you wouldn't.
Yeah. So that's it's kind of like that, or like the long snapper.
Or aren't the hockey guys missing teeth? So
you
could
some of them are.
Yeah, you could identify. Oh, yeah, he probably plays.
Yeah,
hockey.
some of them are. Although most of them now, like the new age guys, they'll get implants.
Yeah, and still get it knocked out.
I always appreciate the guys who don't give a damn. They're just like, yeah, I'm missing them. I don't care. It's like a badge of honor.
Yeah, there you go.
Most of these guys, if you pick them out of a lineup, it's because they've done something horrible. Like if you can pick a kicker out of a lineup, it's probably because a crime was committed.
Yeah, you know that he's had
actually
some bad
a real
massages.
lineup. Yeah, exactly. If I could pick a hockey player out of a crowd, he's probably done something terrible.
Quite frankly, Justin, I'm trying to think of how many kickers in the NFL that I could like look at and go, that's Justin Tucker's the one.
And that's the only one, just because he's currently on the front page of the blotter every day. But
who was the big fat guy that played for the Texans and now he plays for the Bengals? I think.
I love
he was an Aggie
kicker. Yeah, trying to figure which one it was. We've had a couple.
What was that big fat kicker's name? I could maybe that guy. I could maybe pick out. I could have picked out Janikowski.
Well, I bet. Janikowski in his day you could have, but I bet for the most part you wouldn't be able to.
No, you just don't think about it like that. But in like most linemen, I don't know that I could. I watch every Bills game. I don't know that I could pick out every lineman out of a lineup, like offensive or defensive lineman. Like if you said, who's that guy? I'd be like, I'm not really sure. If I saw him in his uniform, I could, that's it. But
perfect segue. Zack Martin retired yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah.
In a week and a half, Zack Martin will be able to walk down the street and nobody will know Zack Martin did anything other than he was a big dude. That's a big guy. What did you do?
But you know what?
Are you in construction?
Most of these guys, when they do retire, they lose a ton of weight.
Yeah, I would expect that will happen with him. You talk about a guy who is a star for a decade, who's going to put on a gold jacket, and I bet 9 people out of 10 couldn't pull Zack Martin out of a crowd.
If you Google Zack Martin, Vic, tell me the picture of him in the hoodie with the hat, the blue hat with the D. tell me he doesn't look like Mike McCarthy's son. So just Google it. The very first picture that comes up. Put it up here on the screen.
All right, hold on. Let me go up here. Let's see. Zack Martin.
Go to all. So like it just shows his main picture. It'll say like football guard.
Yeah, that's
that looks like Mike McCarthy's son, right? Yeah.
Big old lineman.
And again, he'll probably lose 90 or 100 pounds. And my guess is that picture right there, Vic. My guess is you won't recognize him. And you're right. He's probably a Hall of Famer, and you won't recognize him from Adam.
And that was his plan.
Yeah.
We're going to miss this cat. Let me tell you, Cowboy fan. Of all the things that have happened over the last 2 years that are going to leave a mark, it's the absence of Zack Martin in that locker room.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's the locker room. I'm talking about on the line.
Yes.
He's not what he was, but what he has meant to this team after going through, remember we lost Travis and then what's his name's now in Cleveland or Buffalo. We lose or went to the Jets. Tyrants, we lose. We have really lost a touchstone in this organization. Zack Martin has meant the world to this place for the last 10 years.
What's funny about it is I remember when Zack Martin got drafted and Cowboys fans were like, a guard?
Boring.
Boring. Interior line?
And
we
he's
used
a domer.
A first-round pick on an interior lineman?
Dude.
We could have had Johnny Football. I think that was that draft, right?
I think it might have been Travis. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Okay. But
boring.
Yeah, nobody was excited about it, and turns out that, he was a cornerstone guy.
And again, it's not about what he was doing on the field. He's been pretty much a non-entity for the last year and a half. He's been hurt, but what it meant in the locker room. Losing McCarthy is going to change the dynamic. Losing Zack Martin on the other side of that door is going to change that locker room. Somebody's going to have to fill that void.
I agree. Yeah, and for an offensive line that already has problems, I mean. Zack Martin's no longer like the force that he was on the field, but it's another hole you got to fill now. Like he was at least serviceable enough to be out there on that line. Now you got to fill that hole along with all the ones full of guys that already suck.
I just read it. He played he was an 11-year Pro Bowler. Martin only had 7 accepted holding penalties in his entire career.
That's incredible.
That's just silly.
That is incredible. Yeah, there's some number. Like I see numbers all the time lately that I'm like, I saw a number about the Spurs yesterday. You probably knew this. I didn't.
What?
But so the Spurs are going to probably miss the playoffs for their 6th straight year this year.
But we went 2 generations without missing the playoffs.
Before this streak, 4 seasons in their history they missed the playoffs?
We went 20. My oldest son is 20. He was born in 96. And up until Tim retired, he'd never known a year we didn't go to the playoffs.
That's
wild. We went to the playoffs 25 consecutive years. I mean, it was just death, taxes, and playoffs. Now, we didn't always go very far, but we were always
You were always
there.
in the dance, yeah.
And as we look at this Wemby thing, for those of us who've gone through these years, think back to 96. The comparisons are really, really close.
I mean, with the star player getting hurt.
Coach in peril, young star player hurt with a broken foot. Got some new dudes in periphery, and, Greg Popovich is this general manager we don't know. Bob Hill's a 50-game winner. Suddenly, David's hurt, and then we know he's better, but he still doesn't come back. And next thing you know, we got a new coach and a kid named Tim.
Well, didn't David come back all ripped?
That's the other thing. He spent a year away because his foot was broken, but his return to action, he'd had some back issues. So he really kind of hit the weights and came back looking like a superhero.
Listen, I ain't going to be mad if Wemby puts on 15, 20 pounds.
The comparisons are frightening. And, we keep looking at, can lightning strike twice? It did. Can it strike a third time? It did. Can we get another lightning strike? Is it possible that the ping pong balls that come from Wemby's absence lead us to a DJ Wagner on our wildest dreams, a Cooper Flagg? My gosh. Yeah. It is it's worthy of consideration. How do you get there? Because the opportunity is now front and center.
Zack Martin did get drafted in the year that Johnny Manziel was there.
That's the legend of pinning his dad to the wall, saying we are not drafting Johnny. That's the
was that a real thing?
That's from many who say that Stephen literally put Jerry on the wall and said, "Don't, we can't." That's a legend. Now, whether that's true or not, I'm a believer that it is in fact true.
Well, good for Stephen because he made the right choice.
Did he ever?
Because imagine you take away Zack Martin from this franchise and add Johnny Manziel.
Don't let the shirt that I have on sway what I'm about to say. But I think if Johnny would have landed in Dallas, there would have been Super Bowls.
No,
but don't let the shirt that I'm wearing.
You don't think that?
If Johnny would have landed in Dallas, he'd be dead.
He might be.
I'm not kidding. He'd be dead.
He might be.
He would have been a tragic.
We have established a championship program. It's just not the world championship yet.
The best thing could have happened to Johnny is go get marooned in Cleveland. At least you're just doing drugs in your apartment.
Right.
In Dallas,
or
take
you have to
out.
go all the way to Vegas to do drugs and then miss the team's next game.
In Dallas, there's too many helpers. He would have
Yeah.
Best thing could happen to all of us.
And again, it helps getting the Zack Martin thing out of it too.
Just brilliant.
Good luck to Zack Martin, man. Joe was saying he thinks Zack Martin might
coach.
No, Joe's saying he's like, I don't know that he's going to stay retired. And I was like,
maybe. I'd like to think he feels like he got some more in the tank.
His contract was up, so it's not like he had to be a Cowboy anyway. Because I wouldn't want to come back and play another year with this.
That ankle has bothered him for
That's what
years.
I was thinking. He just feels physically so beat down. But I don't know. I don't know what's in that guy's mind. Maybe
whatever it is, go with God. I'm with you 100%.
Yep.
You've done your duty. You've run your race. Thank you.
All right, that's 2 hours in the books, Rob. We got 2 hours left to go, and then we're gonna make the trek up to see a Spurs home game.
Some weird moody. Is it the McConaughey Court?
Is that what it is? I don't know. I don't know. I hope it's like Willie Nelson Court or something. That'd be way cooler. But McConaughey is the minister of culture there at Austin. So who knows? All right, we'll be back. 2 more hours of show to go. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson, KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why My Lowe's Rewards is free to join and lets you unlock member-only deals, earn points towards My Lowe's money, and more. Join for free today. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms, subject to change.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Do you get to celebrate Dyslexia Month, G?
Yes.
That's interesting, G, because I must admit, when we give you copy points to read, you wrestle with it.
Yeah.
So between Gigi's dyslexia and your ADHD, it's also Imaginary Disease Month. Brought to you by I'm a Little OCD.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson from my good friends over at Prize Picks. Hoops are here, baby. It's time to turn the page and start playing games we can win. And now you can win up to 1,000 times your money over on Prize Picks just for doing what you love, watching basketball and picking those that you like. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on sports action. There's over 10 million of us doing it. You should be there too. And right now, there's no better time to get in on the hoops action. If you think Steph Curry can get more than 5 3-pointers this week, now's the time. Is the freak going to get 35? I don't know. I do know this. I feel comfortable Wemby's going to get a couple of blocks. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5, and you don't even need to win. You can receive a $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And have you ever played Taco Tuesday? That's right. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks offers promotions that can lead to big payouts. Here's how you play. Go download the app today and use the code ALAMO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I'll say it again. Download the app, use the code ALAMO, and get $50 instantly after you play your first lineup. Prize Picks. Go run your game.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this. The insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or my website, alawyerforus.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working to stall at 281 northbound, the connector to 1604. That right interchange ramp blocked. Also along 281 northbound Stone Oak Parkway, disabled vehicle that's off to the shoulder. Another at 35 northbound Tupperwine and 410 westbound Fredericksburg Road. Both of those are off to the right shoulder. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line so we can check it out. 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
Tough news for the San Antonio Spurs yesterday as it was announced Victor Wembanyama will be shut down for the rest of the season for what has been diagnosed as deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. The early exit will cause Wemby to be ineligible for Defensive Player of the Year awards due to the number of games he will miss. In hockey news, the Four Nations face-off is complete as Canada beat USA 3-2 in overtime. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Bum, bum, bum. Morning, everybody. 8 o'clock, Morning Huddle. Some of the fallout from the Spurs news from yesterday about Vic. There was a story on ESPN.com. It says Victor Wembanyama out for the season. What is the impact on the Spurs and their future? And the first part, it's like broken up into several things. The first part is, what can we expect from the Spurs for the rest of the season? And I'm not going to go through like the whole 3 paragraphs here because the first sentence really sums it up. The Spurs season is over if San Antonio's best player is unavailable.
Yes, we weren't in the playoffs with him.
Yeah.
So,
then it says, what is deep vein thrombosis? Which we've kind of discussed.
We've all stayed at a Holiday Inn now.
Yeah. What does this mean for Wemby's future? And now, it talks about how there's been a number of high-profile athletes. Several basketball players have dealt with this same thing. Brandon Ingram.
The best comparison.
Yeah. what's Amin Thompson's brother's name? Amir Thompson. He had that, or no, is it Osser, yeah. He had this. It was in his leg.
That's the more common version of it. And Chris Bosh had the legs.
But he was able to come back. Like he was fine. He came back and was fine.
Yeah, and we expect this will be with Wemby as well. So if he had sprained an ankle, a high ankle sprain that put him out for a month, we'd probably put him to bed for the year.
I think so too.
So I'm looking at it like this. I'm looking at it like I have full expectations of 100% recovery. If that's where we are, and if you'd have told me he'd have rolled an ankle last night and been out for a month, and he said, well, we're just going to hold him out, he's not going to come back, and I would have been, all right, I get it. I'm not mad at that. So we're missing development time. We're missing cohesive time. But at the same time, we are allowing us to do some things that, quite frankly, if we were in a playoff run or chase, that we wouldn't be able to do.
The next one is, how does this affect Wemby's contract and the Spurs free agency plans? And that's kind of where I wanted to park for a second. After this season, Wemby has 2 years and $26 million left on the rookie contract. Mm-hmm. His $17 million team option is expected to get exercised before Halloween this year.
The moment we can.
Yeah. Starting in the 2026 offseason, Wemby will be eligible to sign a 5-year, $271 million rookie extension. The first the first year of that would be 27-28. If Wemby is named MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, or to one of the 3 All-NBA teams in 26-27, that extension would increase to $326 million.
So we need to budget that. That's what we're budgeting.
You need to expect that he's going to be he was going to easily be the Defensive Player of the Year this year. But by the way, I immediately called my guy. I was like, hey, we got to get down on I said we want some Jaren Jackson, we want Evan Mobley.
Right.
And he was like, as soon as I call him, he's like, I'm looking. He's like, it's off the board. And I was like, damn it. They were faster than me this time. Because Jaren Jackson Jr. was 25-1 yesterday morning.
Oh, my money.
And now he's minus 120.
Yeah, I still actually I think Jaren's got a good chance, but Mobley to me, I think the stretch run. I think he's going to get the press.
I kind of think so too,
and the publicity to get it.
So like you said, expect to pay $326 million over those 5 years. Mm-hmm. And it says, despite uncertainty around the injury, look for the Spurs to continue to build around Wemby. They chose to accelerate their rebuild at the trade deadline, acquiring De'Aaron Fox. And it shows they're not here to waste time. That's a Wemby quote. It just shows they're not here to waste time. We're moving forward. I think it's a good step in building our future about the Fox thing. But the focus of the offseason is still going to be signing Fox to the long-term extension. He's eligible starting August 3rd. He's going to get a 4-year, $229 million extension.
And the reason it has to be 6 months to the day from the day you're traded.
And currently, Spurs have a 3% chance to land the top pick, but will likely have 1, maybe 2 lottery picks.
12.
Yeah. What does this mean for the Spurs guard trio? And it said there was an expectation the Spurs would have to make a decision about whether to ask Chris Paul to come off the bench so Fox and Castle could start in the backcourt. But it was already unlikely the Spurs would make that move out of deference for Paul.
I'd say I don't get that reasoning, but yeah, go ahead.
Not to mention the fact that the club had already promised him before he arrived in San Antonio that he would be a starter this season.
I don't believe that either.
Okay.
I mean, you could say that, and it might likely be true, but I think you don't have to say that to Chris Paul. I mean, the expectation is he's going to start, but Chris Paul's here for a reason. He knows the reason he's here.
I'm with you, but I also think if Chris could have gotten on with any team that he wanted more than
yes.
for the money that he took. Chris prioritized playing and having a major role over chasing a ring. And I think that there was sort of a I don't know if it was explicitly
that's what I'm
written
saying.
in.
They never told Chris, you come here, I promise you'll start. Chris Paul signed a contract assuming I'm Chris Paul, I'm coming to start.
Okay.
So the conversation I think that needs to be had isn't about minutes. I think his minutes probably won't change. It's just when they're applied. You're still going to close out games, maybe not anymore. But if we were chasing wins, Chris, you might not be the first name called when the game starts, but you're going to be on the card at the end. You're one of my best guys. But there's minutes in games that we're going to have to adjust. And I right now, I think whatever that decision was before Wemby's injury needs to probably still be the same decision. Whatever your reasoning was, I don't think you change it because Victor's not here.
I agree. It says here that the Spurs are in a situation they need to put their best players on the floor to make a push for the play-in.
No.
I don't think that's what they're looking to do.
No. We're going to act like it, but that's not the plan.
But it says that means we'll see plenty of Paul, Fox, and Castle on the floor together for significant stretches.
I think we will, and I want to see that. I think that's one of those things about what's this going to look like next year if Paul is here. And then the other side of that is Chris Paul's out here to show De'Aaron Fox how to do stuff.
It also talks about the draft kind of fallout of this. The Spurs would enter the lottery in the 10th spot if the season today, which, by the way, the Atlanta Hawks last year had the 10th pick, or they had the 10th best odds, and they moved to number 1.
Yeah, it works.
So it's not impossible. However, it does say if moving to 8th in the lottery would double the Spurs' chances of landing the number 1 pick. And that's not counting the possibility of the Hawks moving up with the pick.
We're in a unique situation in that we're not in a bad place, but the thing is, no matter how bad we do or intend to do, we're not catching the bottom.
Yeah,
I mean, Utah and
you already
Charlotte
got off to too good of a start.
And Chicago got a head start on us. And the Washington, they're well ahead of us in the loss. We're not going to catch them. So in our wildest dreams, I think we can hope to maybe fall to 6th if things really, if we really maneuver around.
If the Spurs lost every game for the rest of the season, they would. I think they would have the 5th worst record.
Yeah, so
I'm saying every single game, which isn't going to happen.
And the Wizards and the other teams have to win a couple that, So no matter what, we're not going to be at the bottom. But I do appreciate the idea of doubling your odds at 8th. So that's one of those goals you circle. Okay, what do we got to do to get ourselves to 8th? And if we get to 7th, it's gravy. But we know the percentages are so much better than 9th that we endeavor to land there and circle where you think the wins are. And let's go do this and get better in certain places and figure out who we got. Maybe there's something to Malachi Brenham and Blake Wesley that we haven't had a chance to look at before we wave goodbye. But now's the time to do it. Seriously.
Yeah, no, you're
you
right.
want to see Harrison Barnes? Yes, we want to see
Harrison Ingram.
Well, all of these guys. If there's something that we think is worthy, now's the time. But we're talking too much about the wrong thing. The players are going to take care of themselves. The true question is the coach. That's the true question. I mean, the lottery balls are going to fall into place, but who's going to be taken with that lottery ball? Who's going to decide what we're going to do? Are we going to stay on this same plane with Victor? How much of a role is he going to play with this new coach? The easy stuff is happening now.
How much longer is Steve Kerr tied to the Warriors? Do we know?
I think last I saw, he's got maybe a option for next year, but this was kind of a blaze of glory, one last run kind of a year.
It's kind of what I was thinking too. That to me is the obvious on paper fit.
It feels timing would be good, but has he coached a guy like Wemby? He did a lot with Draymond.
I mean, has anyone coached a guy like Wemby?
And again, a coach is a coach is a coach. I mean,
if you think he's a good coach, he'll figure out how to coach a guy like Wemby.
That's what I'm saying. A great coach can coach anybody doing anything. So I'm not really worried about that. But there are some questions.
Pop hasn't coached a guy like Wemby.
No. But, I mean, there's some questions. I mean, young, old, do you need a teacher? Do you need a motivator? Do you need a CEO? I mean, there's all these things that play into all the things that Pop did, and you're not going to get all of it. So what's the best thing that he did, and what do we want to prolong? And is it just X's and O's? Is it the way he gets along with Wemby and the future there?
I don't know. This is my thought, and again, I'm kind of an outsider on this. So this
is new waters for all of us. Man.
If I said Pop is going to remain a part of the organization, but he's just not going to be the upfront part of the organization, Steve Kerr and Greg Popovich could work together in ways that I think would leave everyone pretty happy, right?
I can't imagine that there would be a better fit.
That's what,
you know what I mean.
That's why
we could argue X's and O's, but as far as landing here and fitting right in and knowing the lay of the land, there would be no better choice.
Because Steve Kerr has been here. Yeah. Greg knows him and trusts him. He's got a track record of success, obviously.
Brilliance, not just success, brilliance.
It seems like that is the.
It would be ideal, but there's other considerations. Where are we with Becky? I mean, is she in line for something after going off and being successful in the WNBA, or has she decided that the WNBA is the ultimate for her? She wants to be the groundbreaker, the one that sets the foundation for what's to become a great league. I don't know. Is Jay Wright hanging out there? There's all kinds of questions, and then there's the coaching tree of is Will Hardy? Is he the one that went off to go learn from underneath Danny Ainge, and is he going to come back? I mean, there's guys out there that are eminently qualified that might not be who we think of as first, that might be in the plans.
First of all, SRS says Mark Jackson is the guy. Remember, it was Mark Jackson that drafted the original Big Three in Golden State. First of all, Mark Jackson was not drafting anybody. Mark Jackson was there. He was the new guy there. They gave Mark Jackson those groceries. And also, it's kind of easy to forget this, but because Mark Jackson is like this and first of all, Mark Jackson hasn't coached in over 10 years now. That, to me, is problem number one. I don't want a guy who's been out of coaching this entire time.
This guy wasn't suggesting we hire Mark Jackson.
Yes. Yeah. And the other thing about Mark Jackson is you have to remember Mark Jackson was like there were big accusations of like homophobia and
Mark Jackson
pushing religion on players and that was in 2014. People were up in arms about that. Imagine what it'd be like in 2025 to have that.
That little argument about how Mark was treated wrong, that argument died 4 rings ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are Jackson, you talking about? This was the best thing that could have happened to Golden State is firing Mark. And Mark was wrongly fired. I mean, for the output and what he did, and they let him go, you go, that was wrong. But in hindsight, it was the absolutely perfect thing to do, and it was what they had to do, and they did it better.
Mark Jackson went on a rant about 2 gay people on his staff.
Dude, yeah.
They had them, and that the organizations in San Francisco, California, like they had to move on from Mark Jackson.
That argument settled 10 years ago, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Mark Jackson is not going to coach again in the NBA, and he's certainly not going to coach the Spurs.
But as we think about what are we going to do for the rest of the season, if it's all pointed about next season, well, who's going to be driving the boat next year? And if it is Mitch Johnson, I'm not going to argue. I'll trust those. I don't agree necessarily. But if it is him, he has to coach a certain way. And if it's not him, he's going to have to coach a certain way, and they're not the same.
Yeah.
Because he won't be here. I can't imagine that he will sit back down on this seat in San Antonio if a new coach lands. Now, there might be a Jerry Jones rule, like whoever he hires is going to have to keep the dudes that are here, and I guess it's possible. I don't know how we're going to do this.
Are there any other guys out there that you'd say, like...
I would have put Bill Self on that list.
Okay.
Coach Bud's always been kind of floating around out there. He's got a ring, and, he's proven to be successful in a couple of places, so I'm sure he's worth it. Brett Brown sitting right beside him, I think you'd be doing him a disservice if you didn't at least interview him.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's been around the league and he's certainly helped the team now. This has been 30 years. I have no idea which way they're going to turn. Is it going to be a young coach we grow old with, or is it going to be an old coach that's here to make sure that Wemby gets him a title? I don't know.
I don't either. I will say, I would shoot for the moon and make people tell you no.
I don't think anybody's going to tell you no. I think if you call them from seriously, the number of coaches that you would call legitimately that would tell you no, I don't think. Steve would be maybe no.
Okay, you said Bill Self. Like, you think Bill Self's an automatic yes?
No, I think I would have said 2 years ago he would have been. Not now. I think he's not as prime a candidate as he was.
Well, I think Bill Self's about to get the North Carolina job. Is my expectation.
So I think times have changed. But when I was first looking, when we thought about Wemby, and or even before Wemby, do we get a young coach with the kind of bona fides that Pop had at the time? That he was more of a college guy that was learning the pro gig. Or do we go get the experienced pro guy who's had success? Or do we, look outside of the box like Golden State when they were doing some hiring?
If you think nobody would say no, anytime a basketball coaching job comes open, the very first call I would make always is to Brad Stevens. Would Brad Stevens say no?
He's had coach for a minute. And, the thing with
I still think Brad Stevens is like one of the 5 best basketball minds in the world.
He was, but the problem with Brad has always been he's capable of doing so much more. And if Brad was to arrive, he's not going to get the GM job. He's not going to get that. That job is taken by a committee that includes Brian Wright, and he's the chief dude there. But there's still Pop on that committee, and there's still RC. And I don't think that Brad Stevens would come in and join this committee approach. It would be his boat. I mean, he put together the Celtics, for goodness sake.
I was going to say, I feel like if anybody's got the right to say, hey,
we're not
going to
push but RC's not going to be pushed aside, even though he's promoted to the level where he's really not a Spur guy anymore. He's more an SS&E, other stuff kind of guy. I just can't imagine Brad Stevens finding the space to operate here. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's a big-time dude and would demand that kind of big-time, whatever you want.
That's why I say I think he would say no. Yeah. But I would call and make him say no.
He would always be the first one of those top 5 calls. But,
I'd call Jay Wright and make him say no.
Well, he's one of the guys that's been on the list. And I think with him, because he hasn't done anything else to spoil the problem. He's been a TV guy.
Yeah.
I still think he's a likely candidate. Where Bill Self, because of some other things and what's happening in North Carolina and other places, that he's not quite the candidate that there was. I still think Becky Hammond will be a first final interview. I can't imagine that she wouldn't be. And then
lost
again,
to the Liberty. She's spoiled.
Again. And then and Mitch Johnson.
No, dude, you've had a trial run.
But he's had a worthy. I mean, you give him an interview.
Yeah, you had a trial run. SRS says, what does cultural rank have to do with X's and O's, AJ? We need toughness, period. I'm just telling you, it's in today's NBA, a guy who is yelling about having gay people on his staff. Mind you, that was over 10 years ago. He got heat for that. You just can't do it in the modern world.
Why choose to die on this hill?
Yeah,
why
Mark
would
Jackson's
you want to
done
argue
nothing.
Jackson as a potential head coaching candidate for the Spurs?
He has done nothing to warrant it.
Silly.
He really hasn't.
It's stupid.
Like to think, and what you, as soon as you said he drafted those guys, you're wrong. He had no say. He was lucky to have the coaching job. They made those decisions for him, and those guys didn't win until Steve Kerr got there and put them together. Remember, he had Draymond sit in the bench. Draymond was a bench scrub. So no. I disagree about Mark Jackson. All right, let's hit a break. We'll be back. Morning Huddle 94.1.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas. I absolutely love the Golf Club of Texas. They've made so many improvements to the golf course, from brand new cart paths to resodding the greens and fairways. You might think it's a private club, but it's not. It's open to the public 7 days a week. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Guys, if you're not feeling like yourself anymore, testosterone therapy may be the answer. Look for the VIP treatment like you'll get with the TRT experts at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenics has over a decade of TRT experience. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been, because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this: the insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com.
This is the story of the one. Who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The hard water coming in and out of your home is like a rodeo. There's a lot happening, and a lot can go wrong. Like having a tea party during a bull riding event.
Excuse me, would you please pass the sugar?
Now that's hard. At the same time, those that know have a Kinetico quality water softener and enjoy smooth, soft, pure, clean water. It just makes everything better.
That's a nice bull. You want some cake?
If you don't have a Kinetico water softener in your home, you're basically inviting destructive hard water to beat up your appliances, your hot water heater, and every pipe in your home. And your coffee maker, hard water damages it too.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Kinetico of San Antonio and the Hill Country.
Don't live in a hard water rodeo.
Ooh, he looks mad.
Call 656-PURE Kinetico.
License number 38961.
Do you ever scroll through social media only to find yourself bombarded by bad news, hot takes, picture-perfect families, and yet another humbling professional update? It's hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing, but imagine how you would feel if you spent 45 minutes focused on how you are doing. At Cerebral, they make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication personalized to you. The best part, Cerebral offers in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. In fact, 72% of people say they felt better in just 12 weeks. Cerebral makes mental health care easy, accessible, and more affordable. Cerebral is proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs, and just like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important, and Cerebral is here to help you build a strong foundation on your overall well-being. Take that first step today. Go to Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral, make time for Mind Time.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Would you please take me home? Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Take me home. Bob says, AJ and Rob, if you don't have lunch plans, go to Jew Boy Burgers on Airport Road in Austin. Best food you'll have had in a while. Very good burgers there at Jew Boy Burgers in Austin. They used to be a little food truck, and they got a brick and mortar now.
Is it kosher?
I don't think so.
Can I have cheese on the burger?
I think so.
Well, then it's not kosher.
It's not kosher, but it is
well, how can you not call yourself Jew Boy Burger?
Well, I think I mean, I don't know. I didn't name the place, but they've got damn fine food. I can tell you that much.
It's not Jew Boy cooking non-Jew Boy burgers.
It could be that.
I appreciate that.
It could be that.
I've heard of them. I've never been there.
Yeah, it's very, very good burgers. My favorite burger in Austin still resides at Casino El Camino, which is like a dive bar on 6th Street, like right by the highway. It's not a burger place, but they have like a little counter in the back. Oh, man, these are the greasiest.
One of those burgers where they scrape the grease off the floor and slide it on the top
but
of
it's
the burger.
so good.
Yeah, it'll just cause thrombosis.
Yeah, it'll cause thrombosis.
Deep vein thrombus.
And it's one of those that I, quite frankly, have never had sober. So
really? Okay.
Yeah. I've never been there.
Food is
good. I'm gonna let you try that sober before I have it. Then.
That's fair.
I want you to go back and remember where you were.
I do think that the Spurs organizationally could use a breath of fresh air, like someone who is. And I'm not saying that.
I'm not arguing. I think that's always a good thing.
I think like you said, there's a board of guys who do this, and none of them are going anywhere. It's like you haven't made the playoffs in 6 years. Well, like it might be time to shake things up a little.
I would be mad at them if they hadn't been doing if we didn't have Wemby, they didn't have De'Aaron Fox. I mean, they're doing what they can do given what they've had. then we can argue drafts.
What did they do to get Wemby? Like they fell
we
backwards
lost
into him.
a lot of games is what we did, and that's.
They also got Josh Primo.
That's what I'm saying. There were some things that happened in there where you go, well, maybe the administration ain't there, but then there have been the successes. We found Charles Bassey off of a scrap heap, and Steph Castle, you can take credit for making a draft pick that there was some arguing that it might not be the right guy, but that's recent. So you're right. There were some tests that needed to be passed. I think fresh air and new ideas are always vital, and I think that might be part of the plan.
Yeah, I just think the Spurs. We talked about this yesterday with the Cowboys when we were talking about that the top 50 under 40 list, and there wasn't a single member of the Cowboys organization on that list because everybody who works for the Cowboys in scouting, all up and down the board, they've all been there forever.
They're company men.
And there is something to be said for, the Joneses are loyal to their people.
But you get to the point in an organization when you study these things, you don't want to ever have a bunch of yes men around.
Yeah.
But the thing is, once an organization is in place for as long as it is, those that get promoted because they are, in a sense, yes men. They're doing what they've been told to do, and they do it very well, but there's no new thought unless you're a unique organization. So even successful organizations, they need to breathe fresh air too. Look what happened to New England. They ran out of air. They never refreshed. And for the longest time they had. He was bringing in assistants, and they were coming and going. And for the last 4 years, Matt Patricia did everything, and they needed new blood.
And it's also because Belichick didn't trust anyone that wasn't in his circle to do a job, so he didn't want people that he didn't know around. And
Pop has had to change because so many guys have left to get good gigs. So there has been new blood that has come in because his chief assistants normally get a new job in about 2 years.
Yeah.
So he's had to bring in some dudes, but the problem has been lately they've run out of new dudes, so the old dudes are coming back. We got Brett Brown sitting there, which isn't a bad thing, but we are accustomed to bringing in something else. But this is a mountain that was built in the shape of Pop, and to think that even new blood would change what Pop has built over the last 25 years, it will take a decade.
Did you see what the breaking news is on Get Up? Breaking news.
Well,
let's
talk about things
the
that
show.
matter.
Stop the press. The New York Yankees have done the unthinkable. Did they trade for Shohei Ohtani?
Do we hang it here?
Did they trade for Shohei Ohtani?
Did they?
Well, now.
No, they did not. They did not. Did they trade for Mike Trout? No.
Well, now they can. Now they can.
But the breaking news, do you think Shohei Ohtani could?
Well, now there's guys that would have never wanted to show up in New York. Now might give them a look, apart from the millions of dollars they'll pay you.
The New York Yankees are relocating to San Antonio. That's the breaking news. No, even crazier, friends. After 49 years of policy, they have decided they will now allow facial hair, the New York Yankees. Wow. They had to stop the show on Get Up.
I wonder if they lost somebody.
This just came across the wire. This is breaking news, headline news.
Yeah. Did Soto?
A bomb has happened. A bombing at Pearl Harbor has happened. No, wait. Now we interrupt this news. The Yankees will allow a beard. The Yankees will allow beards.
Did Juan Soto want a beard?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Why now?
Juan Soto never had a beard before.
Well, I'm just curious. Why now? 49 years later, why now?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who they're kowtowing to.
Did they get like a new razor sponsor?
I bet they did.
No, they lost a razor
Gillette
sponsor.
Went off the
Maybe
books.
Gillette left and like, all right, we'll show you. Yeah. Nobody's going to shave. No one.
No, it's the coloring, the beard coloring.
Have hairy dudes.
Meanwhile,
like Philly.
Don Mattingly is like, now?
That's what I'm saying. Why now, Mattingly?
You made me have a standalone mustache for years. I couldn't have a beard to go with it.
Seriously, when you think of that, I think of Mattingly. Way back when.
Yeah. Oh, Colby says Yanks are getting ready to court Vlad Jr.
See,
Maybe
I'm
so.
telling you, it's like, why now? Unless there's a bearded dude that's like
somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody. James Harden has signed with the New York Yankees.
I think this Vlad thing actually has some truth to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes the most sense from this.
Yep. Yeah, that's funny. Breaking news.
Call the press.
Breaking news. did you see this? The 5-step plan to fix the Cowboys? Number 2. First of all, number 1, re-sign Micah Parsons. That's fine. Number 2, renegotiate the deals of Dak and CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, why don't you call CD first?
What's the incentive for...
you want me to do what? Okay, why don't you call CD, and after you renegotiate his contract, come call me.
Well, CD's got to be looking at it like, what did I do wrong?
Well,
like,
no one. That's what. See, I hate when I see people try to fix things that they don't understand. Like you don't. It's kind of like when you read any draft prospect for the Spurs for 20 years, and they just pick the highest rated Euro just because that's what the Spurs do. So I expect them to do it again. When you go, okay, how do you fix the Cowboys? Renegotiate Dak's contract. You think Dak's going to renegotiate his deal? It's kind of like when you watch those late-night TV things back in the day, like how to make $1 million in real estate. First, get $1 million. You know,
right.
Okay, so first to fix the Cowboys, fix the very problem that got us here? Yeah, that's a good answer.
Thanks for that.
It's impossible, but okay.
Yeah.
First, convince your highest-paid player to take less money, and then get your second highest-paid player and make him take less money, and then everything will work out well. Go to work.
And by the way, before you do that, give a lot of money to the other guy.
I get your attempt, and I get what you're trying. This is so endemic and so deep. It's going to take several years and negotiations to fix the problem here.
Now, he did go down the line, and there's the other points that he made I think were poignant, like getting a second playmaker. Get a more offensive line help and don't worry about running back, worry about offensive line, and then adding depth on defense. Those are certain. Yeah, you need to do those things. But the idea, all of that would stem from finding money with Dak and CD, who have not. Dak has not even played on that new deal yet.
I know. I'm not giving a penny back. What are you talking about?
Dak's like, you want me to renegotiate a contract I haven't even started playing on?
And he can't yet.
CD, yeah. How does that happen?
Well, that's just to fill airwaves. But I agree with all those other things. The sad thing is, even though we could all universally agree, offensive line, extra help for Dak and a playmaker, that's not what Jerry believes. And until we start getting ourselves in the mindset of what Jerry is thinking.
I think
we have to do it under that paradigm.
Ashton Genty's a real good footballer, and I believe there's a kid named Jones at Arkansas. I believe that's a good playmaker. That'll be a playmaker for us.
In a couple of years, we're going to put him on a practice squad.
I think everything's pointing in the right direction. Yeah. All right, Bubba.
5 steps. That'd be if I was interviewed, I would offer that one. Here are my 5 steps. First, let's convince Dak to take a whole bunch less money and maybe even go away.
Here, you know what is more likely than Dak renegotiating his contract this offseason?
Jerry retiring, selling the team.
The Cowboys changing their primary color to red.
Yeah.
That's more likely than Dak or CD, mind you. Both guys who have not played a single snap on the contracts that they signed.
Well,
going, you know what? Yeah, I'll take less.
Remember the hell both of them had to go through to get the deal. Remember the missteps and the mistakes and the innuendos and all that both of them went through, and then they're going to get a call from Steve and go, hey, we want to talk about renegotiating. Oh, you do you?
And by the way, like, I get you see Dak and you're like, oh man, you stunk last year, then you got hurt. You're stealing. CD's like, you paid CD top wide receiver money. CD's still a top wide receiver.
Oh, he's earned it.
He hadn't done anything to, like, if they came to me and I'm CD Land, I'm saying, why are you talking to me?
You need to get, now that you called, I want more money.
Yeah, go find one of these guys who's not earning their keep. I earn my money.
See what I did? I'm the only shining light you had last year. Do you want me to renegotiate?
F out of here. Are you crazy?
Click.
Damn fools.
You need me, I'm going to be over at Dak's house.
No, his other house.
Yeah, one of them. I'll be over
at his houses.
You want me to renegotiate, do you?
His boat.
All right. Let's hit a break. We'll wrap up hour number 1. Hour number 1. My God, hour number 3.
Yeah.
There's going to be 1 to go after this next segment. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your commute, Highway 90, westbound at Nogalitos, west side of town. Getting reports of some debris in the roadway. We've got 2 right lanes blocked. Did clear that stall 281 northbound, the off-ramp to 1604, so the connector ramp has reopened. Still have a stall at 90 eastbound, just past Nogalitos off to the shoulder. 35 downtown, lower level, southbound Main to Cesar Chavez, about a 10-12 minute commute. We've got some roadway reduced to 2 lanes. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Get matched to your perfect bed now and sleep at night. Plus, if you see a lower price, they'll match it. Hurry and stop by Mattress Firm to upgrade today. Restrictions apply.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
So without LSD, Pink Floyd wouldn't be Pink Floyd.
I would agree.
Kind of happened with me with weed in college. I had my Pink Floyd moment, sat in Indian style in my dorm room and listened to some Floyd, and I felt it. I was like in it. I've never seen God, but I did see Pink Floyd.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Hi, welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business.
Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it, and will beat any print quote.
Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs.
No problem.
I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens.
Totally.
I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing.
I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night?
Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can
for details.
Confidence starts with feeling great in your own skin. When you look good, you feel good. Get stronger to your core with Dr. Connie Hires Plastic Surgery and Med Spa. From muscle toning to micro needling, call 210-494-8446 or findyourbeautiful.com.
George gets justice. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, we are the ones you can trust. With over 100 years of combined experience, we are committed to helping people in our local community. Get George Salinas Injury Lawyers and put our experience to work for you and your case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare
and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Oh, 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 oh. You don't have to go. Oh, ow, ow, ow. It's the Yankees thing, the story as you dig into it a little bit more. Hal Steinbrenner says you will be allowed to have well-groomed beards.
No neck beards.
No neck beards. You can the previous policy had that you could have mustaches but no other facial hair. That was put in charge in the 70s. And Hal Steinbrenner said, in recent weeks, I've spoken to a large number of former and current Yankees spanning several eras to elicit their perspectives on our longstanding facial hair and grooming policy, and I appreciate their earnest and varied feedback. These most recent conversations are an extension of ongoing internal dialogue that dates back several years.
What?
Wow.
Ultimately, the final decision rests with me, and after great consideration, we will be amending our expectations to allow our players and uniform personnel to have well-groomed beards moving forward.
Wow.
It is the appropriate time to move beyond the familiar comfort of our former policy.
I never thought we'd see the day. We've made it.
It's
unbelievable. I can play for the New York Yankees.
You can finally play.
I can. You and I are available now.
No, you're not.
I got a beard.
Yeah, but remember the appearance policy also still states that you can't have hair that goes to your collar.
Oh, well, I can trim that up.
And that part of the policy has remained unchanged.
It's a slippery slope. Once we start letting beards in, next thing you know, you're going to have hippies running around.
Every time you shake your head, I see your hair touching your collar.
I'll fix that.
Yeah,
you're going to have hippies running around.
Do you have a little mullet going on?
Yeah, man. I think we got to – I think I can finally be a Yankee.
Maybe so.
I'm going to grab my glove.
Maybe so. Johnny Damon's like, what?
Seriously, this whole corporate speak about internal dialogue, and then he goes, but in the end of the day, it was my decision.
It sounds like something that gets sent out like at Apple or Google.
Yes,
or Catholics.
I want you to put together a special blue ribbon committee.
After much consideration.
We're going to interview hundreds of former players and staff and figure out whether it is worth it or even safe to have a beard.
It's like one of those, like when you see, there's been a major study going to see, like, They've spent years and hundreds of $1,000s to find out, do men really like boobs? And it's like, do players really want to have the right to choose to have a beard or not? I would say after you discussed it with all of them, how many do you think said, no, we really like it that you don't let us grow our beards if we want to or not?
I'm of the mind Juan Soto said, I was going to grow a beard, but now I'm going to have to go to the Mets to do it.
Yeah.
Seriously, why now after all this? And I put more credence into the Vlad Guerrero. Let's go get Vlad.
They signed Paul Goldschmidt this offseason. Paul Goldschmidt has a beard.
Does he have a world-class beard worthy of changing 50 years
It's very
precedent?
full. It's not like
Is it New York Jets beard? Silky?
No.
It's not that.
No.
If we're going to let him in, let in the good ones.
It's not like Kevin Youkilis. I mean, he used to have an
Youkilis
awesome
had
beard.
a good one.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for James Harden. I'm just looking for a good beard. You know what I mean?
Who's the guy on the Dodgers? Like the
long all those
Justin Turner,
Philly dudes too. See, now they're available to go to the Yankees.
Oh, that guy in Philly, Brandon Marsh. That's not going to be allowed. That's gross.
That's hillbilly. That's Wookie. He's now a Wookie.
A jug or something.
His looks gross. His looks like like it's got food in it and like
a meth dealer with overalls.
It smells really bad.
There's
like
a bird in there.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't care what team you're on. I'd be like, no, man, you got to get rid of that.
And he's kind of a ginger.
I ain't putting you on a baseball card with that. And his hair's all greasy.
It's all matted up. Yeah.
Jeez, how did he make it? What's going on?
Everybody's going to Google this guy.
You hit a ball, man. You hit a ball. That's all you need. But yeah, that's gross. As soon as he's done batting, his pine tar all over his hands.
Well, he sticks his gloves in his beard. He just holds his gloves in his beard.
Does he even use a glove?
I don't know.
He catches it in his beard.
If you hit it towards his spot and it gets caught in his beard, that's an out.
Snags it.
That's an out, guys. It's like Sandlot. They're like digging around trying to find it. A dog comes out and eats it. Oh, wait, you had a dog in your beard this whole time? Yeah. Aaron Rodgers. The great and powerful Aaron Rodgers. Oh, come on. Just kidding. I hate Aaron Rodgers so much. God, I can't wait till this guy's gone. Although I like now that Aaron Rodgers is here.
He's unemployed, man.
But also sucks at football. So now's my time to shine. To kick him while he's down. Yeah.
He doesn't have
I've been
a
waiting
reliable
for this.
source of income right now, and you're kicking him
all this time. I've hated Aaron Rodgers, and it's been like, man, he's good though. Now it's like, well, now he sucks too. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, you suck. Aaron Rodgers though has he's 41 years old. He's said he at least tentatively is looking to play next year. And he was asked what he's looking for when considering his next destination. And he said, I want somebody who wants me, and I want somebody who's got a good team. And
me too.
Hitting both of those might be tough.
Well, yeah, no. It's all relative. How do you quantify what's a good team? And by the very nature of them signing you, they want you. And you can use your ego to define how much they want you, but you can put it by the dollar amount or whatever. That's silly. We know you're going to go to the only team that offers you money. Might not be the first one to call you, but the first one to offer you legitimate money, you're going to go.
If I were to say, and I don't believe it's as cut and dry as this, but if I said, let's make the line of demarcation of a good team, a team that's above 500.
No, he's not going to a team above 500. He went to the Jets. See, you can quantify good in your mind. I can justify good by saying, well, what I meant by good is I like that wide receiver. What I meant by good is I like that OC. What I meant by good is it's not the record on the field. It's what I'm going to be able to do for him. Because ain't no 500 team going to go chase Aaron to start. No, maybe on the bench.
What about the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I think that would be insanity. I want it to happen. I think it would absolutely be insanity.
I want it so bad. My number one choice would be Aaron Rodgers goes to Cleveland, because then
that I can almost justify.
But the best part is forever his name will be on one of the back of those jerseys where the Cleveland fan has the names of all their failed quarterbacks on the backs of their jerseys.
So he'd get a red line through him.
Aaron Rodgers will be there with like Tim Couch and Johnny Manziel and all these bums.
Well, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, good.
The thing is, he could arrive about equally talented. I mean, it would be far easier for him to land in Cleveland. That would be the easy out for him.
And he'll be right there with Deshaun Watson.
Right, and with Deshaun, Jameis Winston.
Oh, yeah.
Aaron. I'm telling you, of all the places to land, that might be one of the few places where they're happy to see him.
Yeah, I know. But meanwhile, Myles Garrett's like,
I'm out of here, man.
Get me out of here.
Are you kidding me? Yeah. So I do believe in his mind, he'll be able to justify what a good team is. And by the other part of that is they obviously want you or they wouldn't have given you any contract. But what is he going to say? I'm going to go mentor a young quarterback on a bad team? Well, the last time that happened, you bitched and cried till you got out of there.
Let me ask you about this one more. There's one more team that is I would consider a good team that may or may not have an opening. If Sam Darnold leaves Minnesota,
would you? That's like you're inviting cancer.
No,
you're asking for cancer.
But Rob, here's your choices. You can either the Vikings won 14 games last year. they were clearly one of the best teams in the league.
But I think, okay.
If you take away Sam Darnold, your option is either find a vet or take a guy who missed all of last season with an injury and was a rookie. So has never played and missed his first season with an injury. So he's coming back from an injury. Or you can have this veteran who will see what he can get you.
You make a valid point, and you should be hired as his agent. I mean,
Okay.
you do make valid points, but you don't. I think what Minnesota learned last year is we don't got to win 14 games. We got to win a playoff game.
Yeah.
So maybe we don't win 14, but at some point, Kyle Shanahan became Kyle Shanahan where it didn't matter the quarterback.
Yeah, no,
you know
I
what
agree.
I mean? At
Yeah.
some point, we go, well, I don't care who it is, but Kyle's got him, so it'll
Well,
work
O'Connell
out
might
okay.
be that. He might,
and he might very
just did it
well
with Sam Darnold.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. So
say
I
I
look at
can't.
it from
And
the other side. Like, look what he just did with Darnold. I mean,
look what he was doing with Kirk Cousins.
So-
and now Kirk Cousins is getting benched in his next job.
So I'm thinking O'Connell might be to the point where it doesn't really matter, and it might be the best place in the world for Aaron to land because it doesn't really matter. You're playing for an OC that will put you in a position, no matter how bad you've gotten, that you'll still be successful. And if he's willing to be that guy, I would say yes. But you don't invite the lion into the chicken coop,
I'm with
man.
you. I don't want that to happen.
Oh my God!
I like that coach in Minnesota too much. I like that team. I don't want them to do it because I don't want to cheer against them, and I would.
Okay.
I would cheer for their failure.
What the Raiders ain't good.
No, but the Raiders would want him.
That's what I'm saying. That would be about as high an aspiration as
The Titans would want him.
But they ain't good.
They're not
far.
good.
They're worse than the Raiders.
So the Raiders, Titans, and Browns would want him, but they're no good.
Right.
So you got to decide, bro. Do you want to be on a good team or do you want to be where somebody wants you? Because you can go somewhere. You can go a lot of places and sit on the bench. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is looking to do that. No. All right, 1 hour to go. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Eat Lux your way with the new $5 Classic, $7 Supreme, and $9 Discovery Lux Craving Boxes from Taco Bell at participating stores for a limited time only. While supplies last, price of participation varies. Drinks exclude freezes, tax extra.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-334-2266. That's 800-334-2266. 800-334-2266.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
From a fender bender to a total loss, Davis Law Firm has a team of expert attorneys ready to get you back on the road with the verdict or settlement you deserve. Y hablamos español. Want more? Call the Fours. Davis Law Firm San Antonio, 444-4444.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the A to Z savings event at AutoZone.
Thanks. I need to change my oil. So how much is an oil filter?
Free when you buy 5 quarts of oil. Right now, we have a special on Valvoline Advanced Full Synthetic or High Mileage Motor Oil.
The oil filter is free with the Valvoline
Advanced Full Synthetic or High Mileage Motor Oil? Yep, the free oil filter is part of the A to Z savings event. Only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Guys, if you ever spend time on social media, you'll often find yourself just being hit with bad news and worse comments, and you'll see how everybody's life is so picture perfect, and they've got this great job promotion, and you're wondering, man, where am I? It's hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing. Imagine how you'd feel if you just spent 45 minutes focused on how you're doing. That's what they're about at Cerebral. They make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication personalized to you. And the best part, Cerebral offers in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. If you're dealing with stress, anxiety, you want to be more present and focused, you want to sleep better, you want to have better relationships, you've got to work on yourself. Cerebral is proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs. Just like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important, and Cerebral's here to help you build a strong foundation for your overall being. So take the first step today. Visit Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral, make time for mind time.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-334-2266. That's 800-334-2266. 800-334-2266.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology.
See what everybody can't stop talking about. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your commute, Highway 90, westbound at Nogalitos, west side of town. Getting reports of some debris in the roadway. We've got 2 right lanes blocked. Did clear that stall 281 northbound, the off-ramp to 1604, so the connector ramp has reopened. Still have a stall at 90 eastbound, just past Nogalitos off to the shoulder. 35 downtown, lower level, southbound Main to Cesar Chavez, about a 10-12-minute commute. We've got some roadway reduced to 2 lanes. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
Tough news for the San Antonio Spurs yesterday as it was announced Victor Wembanyama will be shut down for the rest of the season for what has been diagnosed as deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. The early exit will cause Wemby to be ineligible for Defensive Player of the Year awards due to the number of games he will miss. In hockey news, the 4 nations face-off is complete as Canada beat USA 3-2 in overtime. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. SynergenicsHealth.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the final hour of the week for us. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Still a little salty about the hockey. A little salty.
I didn't watch one second.
You love Canada so much.
You said you were going to watch it, man.
I did, but I turned it on and saw it, and I was like, I'm just not into it. I don't care.
You didn't even try. You didn't even give it a try, man.
I was sleepy, too, so I was like, nah.
Imagine the first time you saw a naked chick, you were like, I'm just not that into it.
Well, it depends on.
Well, no.
I saw some National Geographics that were only mildly interesting.
Right.
Only
and what if
mildly.
that's what you? What if you just decided then I'm not into it, and then you never tried again?
Man. I don't know.
What a mistake that would be. What a mistake that would be.
I just couldn't do it. I've never seen a hockey game in my life.
Well, this was your big chance, man.
I know.
This was your big chance.
This was the big one that counted, but
and it was a good hockey game, too.
But I would have been let down anyway. Our country couldn't do it.
Yeah, well. But also, ICE might be listening, and if they knew that you were cheering for Team USA, you'd be safe.
Well, that's also
That's true.
If they see you cheering, they assume you're from here.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Well,
Canadian.
maybe.
Yeah, man.
If
Yeah,
you're
I'm
cheering
not
too
going for no
hard,
Canadians.
you're probably
That's right.
Canadian, and they'll send you north. And if you're not cheering, they'll send you south.
That's right.
But if you're cheering just enough, they'll go, howdy, friend.
My only knowledge of Canada really is the Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's who I think the Canadians are, the way they all act. But
That's how they all are. Every
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah, and I got called a hillbilly by one. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Gilbert says he watched the hockey game at his little bar. Everyone was excited for the game. I think that there was a buzz about it. That Rob is right. Most of the people who watched last night aren't going to be converted into long-term hockey fans.
But I think the next time they hear hockey, like when the Olympics hit next year, they probably picked up 5%. I think 5% will actively seek it out. I think that there's a bunch of kids that watched last night and saw the Kachuk brothers and said, I want to be like them. So there's going to be some kids that go buy some hockey stuff today. I do think that it's not a seminal moment. It's not going to change things, but hockey is a better sport for what happened over the last week than it was beforehand. They're better off today, and not a lot of leagues can say that about anything they've done over the last year.
It's like the WNBA. That's it.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, where you can legitimately go, we're better today than we were yesterday. The Super Bowl numbers were way down. All-Star game numbers and TV viewership way down. Yeah. Soccer isn't in front and center. We don't have international sports. And suddenly, for a week, Rob Thompson in San Antonio, Texas, have been talking hockey.
Yep.
It's a win.
No, I agree with you on that. Yeah, it was and I think a lot of it is because we're in Texas, and the only hockey team in Texas is in Dallas.
And we hate everything about them.
Nobody.
We hate Dallas. Yeah.
That's the one thing about. I've worked in 3 cities in Texas now in my radio career. I worked in Austin, I worked in Houston, and now I work here in San Antonio. And they all have one thing in common: F Dallas.
Yep.
And now
you're right.
San Antonio is different in the sense of the Cowboys. Like they love the Cowboys, but even San Antonio Cowboy fans hate the Mavericks.
Yep.
And our Astros fans.
Are typically Astros fans. Yeah, like it's usually there's an anti-Dallas sentiment, and the only show in town if you want to be a Texas hockey fan is to be.
Mm-hmm. And for a while, remember in the early thousands, in the mid 90s, it was easy to be a Stars fan. I mean, I have a Mike Modano T-shirt.
Yeah.
I have one. So, I mean, it was easy back then because they were winning. But to be fandom is not what we were. I paid attention to the extent I knew they were in Dallas, and it was kind of cool. Now, I know who they are. I'll be back. I think a lot of people got a little bit reinvigorated. We know names now. We know the dude. So when we see that name, that guy plays for Ottawa. That guy plays for the Vegas. So
I think there's going to be a lot of people like my brother who say, I was entertained enough that maybe I'm going to give a try to a team. Give me a team to check out, and I'll see if I can get into it further. I don't think there's people who are like, I'm a full-on convert today, but I do think there's people who are now like, okay, I checked that out. I tasted it. Wasn't bad. I'll try it again, and we'll see what the flavor's like.
And as long as you don't have to work too hard, as long as I don't have to actively go seek out news, as long as I don't have to, go out of my way to become a fan of a new thing, it's really hard to become a fan unless you're in it every day. If you chose your hockey team, you better make sure you're getting every bit of news coming from the bloggers and everybody follow them so you can be part of it. Because if you're not in that market and you have to actively go chase that, it's very hard to grow your fandom. You almost have to be in it.
It is. And when you are in it, especially in a town where it's a big deal, you can't avoid it. I was not a hockey fan. I mean, I was a very fringe hockey
Predators
fan.
When they got good in Nashville?
No. Like, I mean, again, as someone who watched the Predators, once I left Nashville, I wasn't tuning into hockey. There was a year where the Predators went to the Stanley Cup Finals, and I cheered for them. But the only games I watched were the playoff games. But when I moved to Vegas, that town is so hockey crazy that it was almost impossible to not get swept up into it.
I can't imagine. I think the equivalent would be here in '99, where we were always Spurs fans, but I don't think we became basketball fans till '99. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and in '99, I imagine here it was almost impossible not to be a Spurs fan.
It was impossible. From the moment you woke up to you went to bed, there were bumper stickers, signs, flags.
And everybody
sales,
wants to be a part of it.
T-shirts,
and it is almost like a communal thing. Like it's just like you go to work and you talk about the Spurs. You hang out at the bar with your buddies. You're talking about the Spurs. That's how it is. I mean, even right now in Vegas, but since they've got a relatively, they've been around for 6 years. They are a new team.
That's brand new, man.
But they've also had nothing but success in those 6 years, which is very helpful.
A ring buys you 10 years.
Yeah.
A ring will buy you 10 years of allegiance. It'll get you a generation, but you're going to have to do it again.
Yep. Green Botanical says 2-0, born and raised, grew up a Spurs, Cowboy, and Astros fan. 100. Yeah,
there it is.
That's
about right. Yep.
You're like the rest of us. It's been a tough life for 2 of the 3.
Yeah.
But all right.
Yeah.
J4 says 5% is wild, Rob. For hockey, no, I'll give you a 2% increase.
See, I mean, maybe I was being a little bit forward, but I do think that there were people watching last night that go, you know what, I want to do that. Or a kid goes, that's cool. I want to be just like that guy. Where can I do that, Dad? Where can we start this? And I do think you picked some people up yesterday.
Where can you ice skate here?
There's a couple places.
There's a rink, 281. What do they call
Northwoods,
it?
I think.
Northwoods. Is that 281 and 1604? By that big movie theater, there's a hockey rink or an ice rink right there.
That's the only one in town that I know of. There might be one more, but I'm not aware of. But there is. We do have access.
None of the malls have one?
I don't. Not a public rink like that.
Okay.
No. This one, that Northwoods came in about 15 years ago, and they've got some leagues, but there hadn't been enough to build another one.
Yeah, Vegas they're all over Vegas.
That happened in Dallas.
It's in the freaking desert. They're everywhere.
When the Stars were winning, suddenly those ice rinks that were in the Galleria and Prestonwood Mall became hockey rinks. And I had fraternity brothers that had moved to Dallas, and their kids were playing hockey, club level stuff. So it can take off. You can start the fire. And we're talking national, and we're going to change our attention. But I do think, I'll say it again, that they hit a grand slam. When the NHL signed this up, I think they hoped that it might draw a little bit of attention, that it might bring a little bit, and it couldn't have gone any better because, one, they provided an ample, fulfilling product that sold us through a week, and two, the other leagues were down. I mean, you had to have a perfect storm for us to even have time to talk about it. And we had plenty of time for 3 days to talk about it. But you know
what? What got talked more about, this hockey tournament or the NBA All-Star game, the NBA All-Star weekend?
Well, the failure of the NBA All-Star weekend, I think, fed how much we hoped Thursday would be. I think because Sunday was so god-awful that we woke up Monday going, well, that didn't work. Let's look to one thing that might work. And it did,
Like the guys who put together this thing for the NHL are sitting in a room today high-fiving and slapping each other on the back. And the guys who put together the NBA All-Star weekend are going, God, are we fired?
We better call those guys with the NHL.
Are we fired? Like, what are we done?
I just bought a house.
And honestly, because those two leagues, they coincide in a way, I think they talk to each other about how things are going to go. Like, when the Stanley Cup final and the NBA finals are on, they alternate days. Like they do kind of work together to make sure that you can see both of their products. I think that the NHL is feeling a lot better about themselves right now than the NBA is about what happened in the last couple weeks.
No doubt.
So,
and now they got a long way to go. Now, I saw Cam Newton. This is a bold statement. I don't necessarily agree, but he said in 10 years, hockey looked great. I don't think they're going anywhere. They're not declining like we thought they were. But in 10 years, baseball needs to be very concerned that WNBA is coming and hockey is pulling more viewers. And keep in mind, hockey's the meat of the hockey season is right at the beginning of the baseball season. And if you don't get these guys early, you don't get them all year.
And J4 is right. If the U.S. would have won, the interest would have grown even more than it did.
Even more so by far. It would have been exponential. But I do think that there was enough. You get them started now. A year from now, I think we're going to have the same compelling feeling because we're going to remember this year. And we're going to look back and go, all right, we get Canada again, but then we got the Swedes and the Russians coming at us as well.
And for me, I generally am bored by the Winter Olympics, but now I've got something to look forward to. I hate ice skating. I hate there's nothing for me in the Winter Olympics.
I love the Winter Olympics more than the summer.
I get nothing from I don't know what there is to enjoy.
Because you can die doing those events. There are events that legitimately you screw up, you die.
Show me one. Show me somebody die.
Have you seen luging?
Yeah, show me an Olympic
skeletons?
death.
Well, I'm sure it's happened. You could.
Give it to me.
Far more likely than rhythmic gymnastics.
Pump that into my veins then. I'll
the sculling where you're face down.
That's hardcore, but they never die.
Well, downhill skiers die all the time. We just don't talk about it.
But I want to see it on the Olympics.
I think we watched 3 or 4 last week.
But no, this does give me something to look forward to.
I'll guarantee you that I don't know who has it. I think NBC has.
I'm sure they do. Yeah,
they're going to be pumping and mainlining Olympic hockey down your veins starting in November.
Absolutely, because the Winter Olympics survives on ice skating. Because that is what women will watch ice skating every year, no matter what. So the Summer Olympics.
Okay.
There's the track does a little bit of noise. Okay, Summer Olympics is really basketball and gymnastics. That everyone so when Michael Phelps comes around, swimming mattered for 2 or 3 Olympics.
Still will. Swimming, those are the 3 pinnacles though.
Who was the big swimmer this year?
There was that Aussie dude.
No, who's the big U.S. American swimmer?
Well, I think Phelps was back, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't. That's nobody.
Yeah,
he's gone. Nobody cared
because the Aussies beat us this year.
Basketball and gymnastics drive the Summer Olympics. In the winter, it's always figure skating. The ratings for figure skating are here. Everything else is.
I find it compelling.
Figure skating?
I do. I watch it.
I hate
I can grade a triple Salchow with the best of
it. It all looks exactly the same to me. I'm like, and they'll say, "Oh, that's a toe loop," or it all looks the same.
I'm not going to lie. I enjoy watching ice skating.
Listen, if you're into it, that's awesome. Yeah. But I do think hockey is going to carry it in a way that it hasn't before,
and that's good news. That's good news for all of us.
All right. I've got I don't have time to get into that. You're right. All right, Vic, you're the boss, man. You're the boss. Your name's on the show. All right, I got to tell you guys about the John Hicks Law Firm. If you are facing a family, a crisis, a divorce, you've got a child support issue, you are fighting for custody of your kids, whatever it may be, you need someone who's in your corner who knows what it's like to be in your shoes, and that's where attorney John Hicks comes in. He brings a unique experience to the table. He's a veteran. He's a Marine. He's a firefighter, and he knows the challenges. He knows the pressure. He knows how to fight for what's yours. And this is not a hoity-toity silver spoon lawyer. This guy's one of us, man. And he knows that at the end of the day, when you're in this situation, one of your big concerns is your finances. You don't know where your money's going to end up. You don't know how it's all going to pan out at the end. So you need to know how much money you're spending on this thing. The Hicks Law Firm offers flat fee representation from beginning to end. So he'll tell you, hey, it's going to cost you to get from here to here. This is how much it'll cost you, not a penny more. And you don't have to worry about, if I call him in the middle of the day, if I've got a question, he's going to charge me for a 1/10 of an hour. That's not how it works with John Hicks. And in fact, he'll work with you on a payment plan if you need. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's a free consultation, jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win. Check them out, J. Hicks Law Firm.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your commute, Highway 90 westbound at Nogalitos, west side of town. Getting reports of some debris in the roadway. We've got 2 right lanes blocked. Did clear that stall 281 northbound, the off-ramp to 1604, so the connector ramp has reopened. Still have a stall at 90 eastbound, just past Nogalitos off to the shoulder. 35 downtown, lower level, southbound Main to Cesar Chavez, about a 10-12 minute commute. We've got some roadway reduced to 2 lanes. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions.
today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Do you ever scroll through social media only to find yourself bombarded by bad news, hot takes, picture-perfect families, and yet another humbling professional update? It's hard not to get wrapped up in how everyone else is doing, but imagine how you would feel if you spent 45 minutes focused on how you are doing. At Cerebral, they make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication personalized to you. The best part, Cerebral offers in-network care so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. In fact, 72% of people say they felt better in just 12 weeks. Cerebral makes mental health care easy, accessible, and more affordable. Cerebral is proud to be an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs, and just like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important. And Cerebral is here to help you build a strong foundation on your overall well-being. Take that first step today. Go to Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral, make time for Mind Time.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, and more. Save now at Dell.com/deals.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-895-1414. That's 800-895-1414. 800-895-1414.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Woo! Yeah! A lot of people talking about curling on the Brigade Bar.
That's a great beer drinker's sport, baby.
Oh, yeah.
The greatest of all beer drinking sports.
Yeah, the curling team looks like just a bunch of dads.
There was legitimately an international curling event where the favorite, and I think it was Canada, was thrown out for being too drunk. That is a real story.
Nice.
That's a sport I can get behind.
You can tell those curlers are not married.
Oh, yeah. They're just single, nothing else to do.
No, I mean, well, if they were married, Their wives would push the brooms. Sorry, I got drunk during my curling league last night. That's an inappropriate joke.
But it kills amongst the curlers.
Oh, man. I found this list, Rob, of coaches on the hot seat in college hoops.
All of them.
It does seem there's more than usual. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the ACC.
Well, I'm about to say, if Hubert Davis ain't number one on the list, they're not compiling it very well.
He's on the list, but he's not number one. He's not
Okay.
number one. So the ACC guys, Hubert Davis, who is 16-11 right now, 9-6 in the ACC.
That doesn't feed the bulldog at UNC.
Yeah. They just got blown out by Duke, then blown out by Clemson. The tough thing is UNC in his very first season, they went to the national title game.
Yeah.
And remember Hubert beat Coach K in his last game?
Yeah.
And then he beat Coach K in the Final Four, his last Final Four, and everybody was like, Hubert Davis is our guy. And now it looks like they're going to miss the tournament. It's going to be the second time in 3 seasons. You can't miss the tournament at UNC.
No.
It's just crazy. There's no excuse for it. Like, we're talking about Bill Self, who's probably going to have a 4 seed or a 5 seed. We're like, what's going on with Bill Self? Like, UNC's not going to make the tournament.
It's
a disaster.
Unfathomable. I mean, when Dean Smith, some years back, when he had to take a year or 2 off with a back issue, and he probably wasn't going to come back. But his backup, there was a replacement, a guy named Guthridge, was so god-awful.
Yeah.
That Dean Smith, they begged him, please
sir,
come back, and we'll try to get through this. It's time for North Carolina to kind of brush away their past.
I think
talk
so,
about a breath
too.
of fresh air. Don't become the Miami that lives in days past. You're going to have to go get somebody that's going to bring in a new idea. And it's not going to feel comfortable. It's not going to be, because they ain't going to be like you. You're going to bring in somebody intentionally that ain't like you.
Well, remember, the last time they poached a coach from Kansas, he ended up being arguably one of the best coaches in the history of time for them.
And but he had North Carolina love. I mean, he was from UNC. He was a Dean Smith dude. Bill Self ain't.
No, but
that would be a good get.
Guy.
Yeah, that would be a good get, because he comes in with a different idea. And I think right now, before it gets away from you, you need to fix it.
Adrian Autry at Syracuse, who, again, it sucks. It sucks being the guy after the guy. This is his second year, and they just got a new GM, this Alex Klein, who was a Knicks scout, and he didn't get to the program in time to help build the roster. So I think they're going to give him one more year, and he's got 2 top 50 recruits coming in.
Melo's kid or somebody's kid.
Yeah, Keon Anthony is on his way in. So, but Syracuse being 11-16,
not acceptable.
That's for a school that sucks at football. It's like they
go to the Church of the Hoops.
Yes,
that Carrier Dome's full for a reason. They love it.
Earl Grant at Boston College, of all the ACC coaches, I think he's in the worst case. He's 3-12 in conference play. BC, they have a mid-major roster.
Yes.
Like their roster would probably be competitive in the MAC. Like if they were playing Northern Illinois and Buffalo every night, they'd probably be okay. But they're not even going to make the ACC tournament. They don't have a top 150 recruit coming in. They're dead.
Yeah.
And he's been through 4 years. They're not going the right direction. It's over for Earl Grant. Kevin Keats at NC State. Now,
he's only been there 3 years now.
They made the first Final Four since Valvano last year. It would be tough to pull the plug on it already, but they're 10-16. They've lost 10 of their last 11. He's been there for 8 years.
8 years now, okay.
And 1 year after getting to the Final the Final Four, this is the worst team that he's had. So there's a real kind of head scratching spot there, like which way are we headed? Now, because of what he did last year, he got a contract extension that upped his buyout.
I was going to say, I have a feeling
which means
he got some new money.
He
had that
probably
big center, right? He had a big fat center that was fun to watch last year.
Yeah. Burns, DJ Burns. All right, outside the ACC, you tell me what you think of these guys. Johnny Dawkins at Central Florida.
Lifer. He's a career a program maintainer. He is not a program grower.
Dawkins is going to have this is his 9th season at Central Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Dawkins has 1 NCAA appearance.
And you know what? For him, I give him another year just because he jumped into some tall cotton there with the Big 12.
But also, doesn't that make you want to even more go out and find?
I want to see him recruit. He's gonna have to bring in somebody from someplace to justify it. But you step in and you have to play these teams twice. This ain't a directional Florida school. You're traveling into big time basketball arenas when you're going to Houston and to Tech and to Baylor and to Kansas. That's a big ask for any program.
If you want to play in the Big 12, you probably got to make sure you've got a coach who's ready to be in the Big 12.
Yeah, and I think he is. I think he's capable.
Houston had one, and they hit the ground running.
Yeah, Tubby was ready. And Dawkins,
not Tubby, Kelvin.
But I will say this: Johnny's a good coach. And a decent recruiter, but he's not a program builder. He's a maintainer.
If this is what you're maintaining, is that?
Well, I would have let him go if he was doing this against directional Florida schools this year. But the fact that he's even moderately competitive, he got a good win against A&M at home. Remember
the first game of the season?
So
yeah.
I do think that there's some place for him, but I wouldn't fire him
yet. Bobby Hurley at Arizona State.
It's winding down there.
What's wild is they've beat St. Mary's. They beat West Virginia. They beat New Mexico this year, but they're under 500. Mm-hmm. They've lost 6 straight. They've lost 11 of 13. He's been to 3 tournaments in 10 years at Arizona State. They got 2 top freshmen, Jaden Quintance and Josan Sanan, but both have been kind of meh. I don't know. I mean, again, this is another one. If you're going to play in the Big 12, you almost need someone who's capable of punching in that weight class. And I don't know if Bobby Hurley's that guy.
The thing about Bobby is he's going to recruit. He's always going to bring talent in just because he can. I just think that the time is just running. He has maxed that program out for what he can do. He took a kid out of San Antonio last year. He ended up transferring to Ole Miss. There's just no continuity there. And I say fire him, and that doesn't add any continuity. But I do think that he has taken this program about as far as you're going to take it. If you keep him, make him a lifer, give him a 10-year deal.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Because this is about to become, how long has he been here? Decade?
10 years.
10 years? This is about to become a lifer thing. And, it's not like it's been an abject failure. But
no.
You're in a different world.
But it's going to
now.
get tougher, yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, and this is a guy going from the Big 12 to the SEC, Porter Moser, who, man, I thought that was such a home run hire to get Porter Moser when they did from Loyola, and it has just not worked. And he's one of those guys who you talk about the Peter principle. I think he found his ceiling. He's a great mid-major coach, and
it's not a knock. Some guys just
they're
coach
3-10 in the SEC.
Some
3-10.
Well, yeah. Porter Moser's a hell of a basketball coach. X's and O's, I'd put him against anybody. But some guys handle talent better than others. And there's different levels of talent from OU and Loyola. It just is.
This is season 4, and he has still not been to the tournament. Maybe he gets there this year. Maybe, if they pull things together down the stretch. But
OU's got so many problems. Even if I was a really good head coach, going into that athletic department with so many issues that they got to focus on the football side of things, you're a stepsister there. Even though they've got a long tradition of good basketball, you are deep. You might be 3rd or 4th behind baseball and softball as far as importance to your AD.
Yeah. These are the 2 that I think are on the hottest seats. Kyle Neptune at Villanova.
He's done.
Again, it's hard to be the guy that follows the guy.
Yeah, he's done.
But Villanova, at their worst, shouldn't be this.
Yeah.
The Big East is the worst it's been since I can remember, and you're still non-competitive in the Big East. That just can't be.
That lead they blew against UConn the other night, that could get you fired quicker than
I think he's done.
He's done.
I think it's like, dude, you've had chances. They tried to give you every opportunity. You're just not. And not only that, it's getting worse.
It is, and they're going to go hire. They're not going to hire a college coach. Nova's going to go hire a former pro coach.
I think so. I think you're right. And this one, this is one when I say the name, you're going to go, really? Fran McCaffrey at Iowa is the Hawkeyes are 14-12. They're 5-10 in the Big Ten this year, and there's a lot of regular season success. Mm-hmm. He's been there for 15 years. Still has never made the second weekend of a tournament, and it's all because historically his defenses are so atrocious that you can score a bunch of points, but if you can't stop anyone, what are you going to do? And he's had he's
recruited. That's the problem. He's recruited too well to have the record he's got.
Luka Garza, you got a player of the year. Keegan Murray, you've had these guys.
And his brother. They put out pros. I don't think he's destined to get fired this year.
I think he might. I think they're.
I think it would be a bit of a mistake right now because, again, Big Ten's growing. I think the way that he plays will be better off the more we see those Pac-12 schools because his style is more of the Pac-12 style. Let's go score a bunch of points and have some fun.
Yeah.
And you're going up against the Izzos, the Matt Painters of the world that are, Wisconsin.
Underwoods.
That are just there to beat you into a pulp, and that just has never been his best way to win.
So there you go. There's your hot seat report. Claymore says Jerry Stackhouse, the next North Carolina coach. That wouldn't surprise me, but
it wouldn't be awful.
Goes against what Rob says. Like they need some fresh blood.
But I would go look elsewhere.
I mean, if I had to choose between Bill Self or Jerry Stackhouse, I'll take Bill Self. Bill Self's one of the 5 best college coaches in the world, but Jerry Stackhouse has been really good. And Jerry Stackhouse, especially in comparison to the other former players turned coaches, he's like a really good X and O's coach.
Yeah, he's had to work for it. I mean, he's had to bounce from job, get fired. He's had to earn it.
Like Penny does it with, I'm going to get great players, and we're gonna go out, we'll roll the ball out there and make something happen.
And that since that AAU program that he's run has dried up, notice the talent has too.
Stack is doing it on that whiteboard, and that is really impressive to me. I really like Jerry Stackhouse as a coach. So that's
just not in North Carolina. It's not time. Don't go there now. I would tell him don't go there.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't go. Not yet. You're a young man. You got time.
And he says Stackhouse might have recruiting advantage.
Oh, he would.
Do you need a recruiting advantage at North Carolina?
I say a recruiting advantage. He'd have an advantage because he walks in the door, everybody knows him. I mean,
but everybody knows Bill Self too.
But
in fact, more people now probably are familiar with Bill Self than Jerry Stackhouse.
No, but what I'm talking about is the familiarity of his name, his picture's on the wall. I mean, his name's on the record. Everybody knows him, and that's not what North Carolina needs. They need somebody to come in who's never run the North Carolina defensive drill. Doesn't even know what that is. I have my own Kansas drill that we're going to run that we've been successful with. That kind of guy. And Stackhouse comes in and knows the playbook and knows where all the bones are buried. I want somebody new.
He impressed me at Vanderbilt, despite the results not being great. I get it. But to head out to the pros and get some more, I'm very, very impressed with Jerry Stackhouse. So I think that'd be and. Jerry Stackhouse did have a couple good seasons in Nashville. The last one wasn't the best, certainly, and that's where you part ways. But no, I do think he's a hell of a coach. I'd like to see him get a job. I just don't know if North Carolina's the job.
It's not the place.
If you didn't succeed at Vanderbilt,
well, it's just got to be tough. You got grade point. You got some issues at Vandy. Sure. You can't recruit the same kid to Vandy that you can to North Carolina, but. It's just not time for him. We go back to sometimes you just got to sweep out everything, even though some of it was good. And I think Miami didn't do it, and they've gone through the wilderness for 30 years because they keep trying to go back to what was working.
Yeah,
and you just can't do it.
I think they should hire Rasheed Wallace as the Minister of Culture.
I think it'd be great.
All right, Rob, tell the people where you're going to be watching the games this weekend.
Well, all weekend long, Twin Peaks is going to be kicking it. But right now, we are in the midst of the fun time at Twin Peaks because, the snow's falling. You like to spend a little time indoors and enjoy the warmth that the fire can offer. But when you talk Twin Peaks, that also always gets paired with maybe a bikini. And over the next couple of days, they are doing all kinds of stuff to keep you warm inside while it might be cold outside. How about top shelf margaritas on sale for the foreseeable future all the way through the weekend? Head over to Twin Peaks to enjoy all the call margaritas you like. They got the spicy, they got the regular, and it's all on special. But if that's not what you're chasing, it's Friday. The bourbons are going to be poured, and we're not talking about the ones that you just look at. I'm talking about the top shelf ones with granddads and roses and all the ones and horses running across the front. You know what I'm talking about. That's what Twin Peaks does for all their customers, because when you walk into Twin Peaks, you know it's going to be a party. They got seasonal drinks. They rotate the menu all the time. Head in and watch yourself some good basketball this week and enjoying a big charcuterie plate and one of those fancy margaritas. Or maybe you're looking for one of those good flatbreads when the late-night happy hours going on. You know it's going to be happening at all 4 locations. Over on Days of Olive, Twin Peaks is kicking. Of course, the 151 for those on the west side. Park North, IKEA, they're all waiting on you. The eats are ready. The drinks are always icy cold, but why do we go? It's so easy. It's those scenic views.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SERVE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SERVE to 42424. That's SERVE to 42424.
The Blitz is going to Vegas. Come along for an unforgettable Mega March weekend at Circa Las Vegas, March 27th through the 30th for opening day and the second weekend of the tournament. Thursday, March 27th, celebrate the start of the baseball season and watch all the games at the world's largest sports book, plus the ultimate March Hoops experience. Take in the action in the 6 pools and the 143-foot screen at Stadium Swim. Book now and use promo code BLITZ at circalasvegas.com and join Jason and Joe at Circa Resort and Casino.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Many of the successes you've had began with a great opportunity. Now, here's another one. Get started on your degree or certificate in San Antonio. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs, faster onboarding, and more from University of Maryland Global Campus. Get personalized local support services and take online or hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What are you going to do this weekend, Vic?
I don't know yet, actually.
In a party?
Nah, those days are over.
Smoke drugs?
Nah, those days are over.
Sure you're not.
Saturday night, I'm going to go see a friend
I'm going
of
to
mine's
drink some drugs.
band. I'm going to go see a live performance on Saturday.
Where at?
Pete's Place over in Helotes, a band called Mishmash.
Mishmash?
Good friend of mine. I knew him as Albert. Everybody over at USA knows him as Bert, but he plays in the band. I'm going to go see him play.
Hell yeah.
Fun band.
Rock and roll band? Rock and roll
A little
outfit?
bit everything. A little bit everything. Good wedding band, you know what I mean? They
Do what you want them to do.
From Conjunto to Pat Green, everything in between.
I like it.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know that I've got plans beyond Friday.
You're more than welcome.
Today's
Check
Friday.
Out Mishmash.
I might do that. I might hit you up on that.
A friend of mine has a cat that he didn't want, but I'm kind of iffy on it because it's a Maine Coon.
Don't get a cat.
No, it's
I'm
a
just
Maine
going
Coon.
to I'm going to be your friend. You don't need to add another living being in your house.
I do want one of those Maine Coons.
But it's a Maine Coon.
Is it one of those big-ass cats?
Yeah.
Well, then that's even more. Don't add a big-ass cat to that.
No, I've always wanted a Maine Coon.
I do too.
Yeah. And the kitty's only about 5 months old, and it's already huge.
See, small cats are enough. Why would I want a big one?
But they're like bobcats.
I've seen them.
They're huge. Yeah,
they're huge.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Blueberry was that size, demanding to be fed?
I would take it on walks.
That thing would kick you out of bed.
No,
yeah, you'd have to leash it up and take it on a walk.
So, my cat now. My
wife ride it.
My wife got a when I brought it here. I brought it here in like a carrying case.
Is it like one of those cardboard ones?
No, it's like a duffel bag, but it's vented on the
Oh, yeah,
sides
I
and
have
it's
a
got
few
a
of those,
zipper.
yeah.
And it's like a cat carrying case. It's a little bed in there. And now we gave Blueberry cat weed. So like we got we literally went to the weed store and they have pet
pet stuff,
pet marijuana.
I've used it.
And so she was knocked out for the whole trip. Yeah. I feel like my ears are on top of my head, man.
I ate it, and I had the sun.
You keep licking your paws.
And I kept trying to lick my crotch, but that's just another day.
Oh, you're Nito Rossi after that.
Oh, boy. I had this unending need to go poop in the yard and lick my crotch.
My ear is itchy, but I have the need to scratch it with my foot.
I don't know why.
I'm still up in the air.
Drank out of the toilet a couple times and called it a day.
But she got me in case I got to an airport and I needed to, if Blueberry was awake and needed to use the pet relief area.
Oh, yeah.
She got a
leash?
A leash and a harness.
Okay.
And Blueberry was passed out the whole trip, so I never had to use that. But I did say, like, I'm going to try this out. And I was just going to try to walk the cat. I was like, I'm going to go to the mailbox. I'll see if the cat will walk.
So
I put this thing on her, and she's like, what is
doing,
man? Why you put this thing on me?
I'm going to go where you're going?
And then I put the leash on, and she's like, what? And then as soon as we got outside and shut the door, I started trying to walk, and she like fell down and pretended like she was dead.
Yeah.
She just turned into dead weight, and like I was dragging her, and she was
putting shoes on them.
She wasn't moving. Her paws around. She's like,
I don't like this.
Not
I don't like the
doing
look of this.
Nope, I'm out. I'm out. Then we got to the stairs, and I was like, you're gonna get up and go? Nope. She flopped down one stair. I was like, okay, this ain't gonna work.
I'd be afraid that cat would get mad and come at me.
Oh, I mean, you're on a leash.
I know. And I can't let go of the leash.
I could have. I'll leave her outside.
Swing her around.
A band.
Like a
poor kitty.
Go walk a cat.
Now, I'm still up in the air. I don't know if I want to take him, because he's moving, and he didn't want to move with the kitty and wanted to know if I wanted it.
How many animals live in your house already?
Right now, I have 4 dogs and 1 cat.
Oh, it's too much already, dude.
Yeah.
That's a big bite out.
Too much already.
Yeah, my wife was all like, I know it's a beautiful cat, but
maybe Blueberry would need a friend.
No. I don't
the
think
cat's
so.
fixed already. It's a male.
No. I had considered, my wife was like, Blueberry's probably like, she's bored.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. But because she misses her, my wife's dog.
Right? Yeah.
Not both the dogs. My dog would try to eat her. But my wife's corgi and her were like best friends.
Nice.
They talk on FaceTime sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, like Blueberry talks all the time, but if I'm on FaceTime with my wife and Blueberry starts talking, that little corgi starts running circles and looking for her.
It recognizes
oh
the
yeah.
meow.
Oh yeah.
Reunion's coming.
But I said, well, maybe I could get like a cat that's about to die, like a senior cat.
Oh, like 15 years old.
Yeah,
something like that.
But then I was like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with it.
I'm going to open a cat hospice.
Yeah, I just don't have. I barely have the patience for this cat.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I can't do like another litter box, much less. I'm already messing with this one.
No.
Yeah, I can't mess
It's enough.
with it.
It's enough.
I'm maxed out on pets right now.
That's my problem, though, is I'm such a bleeding heart for animals.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Could you foster? Would you ever? My sister fosters animals. Or you go and take care of them and then you give them up. I couldn't do that.
But my worry is that someone's not going to come get it.
Well, no, this is one of those they come get it. You know, like you get them for 3 months and they're going to come.
Oh, I could do that. That's what I should do with Blueberry.
Look
Get
at
her a friend that is going to be gone.
There are a lot of organizations that would happily want you to come out.
Okay, well, maybe so.
That's an easier thing to do.
Maybe so. Well, instead of doing that, I'm going to do the daily lines.
That's some money.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
All right.
What do we got? What do we got?
I got
no hockey.
I had the good number last night.
And?
On the Lakers game.
Oh.
I got plus 4.5 on Portland.
Okay.
And then
LeBron decides to play.
Stupid.
I know.
It went all the way down to 1.5, and I was like, oh, he's definitely not playing. And then he played. Not only did he play, he scored 40.
Scored his age.
He's a malingerer. He wasn't hurt. He wasn't
He knew
hurt.
what he was doing.
Meanwhile, Joel Embiid, look at him. Joel Embiid looks like he's 50. He's just constantly like, he walks like you the day that you hurt your back.
Well, he finally admitted the fact that he is playing like an old man.
Yeah, that dude, good Lord. All right, Knicks are at the Cavaliers. It took overtime for the Knicks to win last night against Chicago.
Not a lot left in the tank, though.
Knicks are plus 8.5 at Cleveland.
Take Cleveland and run away home, baby. They got taken to overtime by a bad basketball team. They're either going to get stung and play hard. My bet is they're tired.
How about the Milwaukee Bucks? Oof.
Disconcertion going on in Milwaukee.
The Milwaukee Bucks are 5.5-point road favorites. Wow. You know they have to be playing a terrible team, and they are. It's the Washington Wizards.
Portis out. You had Giannis kind of talking about, are we doing everything we can to go win a title? Am I going to be looking around again?
Doesn't seem that way, does it?
The Wizards have but one goal. That is Cooper Flagg. I think they'll offer 5.5 on a platter, but it won't be Milwaukee's taking. It'll be given to them.
Grizz minus 3.5 at Orlando.
What a weird number that is. Orlando had a good win last night.
Yeah, but Memphis is what, the second best team in the West?
Yeah, they're cooking. I don't think Orlando's that good.
Miami minus 3 at Toronto.
I don't know.
I don't know who wants to win.
I don't know about this one.
That's a crazy game. Like those two teams. It's like the Spider-Man meme. Like,
Yeah.
you want to win? No. What about you? You want to win? No. How about this one? Here's a team who wants to win but can't seem to versus a team who doesn't want to win. Pelicans plus 5.5 at Dallas.
Wow. 5.5, huh?
Yeah. The MASH unit that is the Mavericks favored by 5.5.
I still like the number, though. I mean, the guys that can play at least play defense, but CJ's, I don't know. I think Dallas is probably going to cover that.
All right. The Thunder. Thunder are a healthy road favorite tonight. Oklahoma City minus 15 in Utah.
On general principle. Just on general principle, I gotta say Utah, right?
I would never lay 15 on the road with anybody. So it's Jazz or pass. And
right.
I don't want to bet Jazz, so it's a pass. Timberwolves plus 4 in Houston.
I don't know, man. What are you feeling?
I kind of got to feel like Minnesota's better than they played in the first half. I would say Houston felt like they were running out of gas, but maybe the All-Star break helps them. They're
going to get Jabari back here pretty quick. They don't have him now.
Yeah, I think in a couple weeks.
My gut says,
or no, maybe this week. I think
my gut says Houston's reeling and they're playing a pretty good team, but I think that the way they play is the kind of thing that beats Minnesota. Just run around them.
All right, Golden State minus 2.5 at Sacramento.
Minus 2.5, you say?
Yep,
I like that.
You like the Warriors on the road?
I do. I do. I think that there's a little bit of revitalization going on there. They've got Jimmy, and Draymond says they're winning a title.
And that's what Draymond said. I think Draymond said that every year. The Detroit Pistons, quote fingers, at the Spurs in Austin. Spurs are plus 4.5.
Well, the thing about this game is, what Detroit's good at is what we're not good at. Where they're big, we're small. Cole Anthony's a handful. They got some. They're
big everywhere. Their guards are like
they're
Cunningham's
big teams.
huge,
and they're a team that doesn't know how to win, quite frankly. So and we're still running on adrenaline. I'd like to think the Spurs win this. They should, but at some point the adrenaline's going to run out. They played last night with we're going to prove to the world that we can do it without our guy. But you're going to wake up today and he's not going to be there.
Yeah.
And Jalen Duren, if he's healthy, I expect a big game from their bigs. Yeah.
I think they feast inside, and this is where the Spurs are going to look at themselves and go, "Man, we need a big body."
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the Suns don't. The Suns, their big body, they don't even let him on the floor anymore. They're just like he's in the doghouse with the coach, so he just doesn't even play.
Bowl.
Yeah,
what was the joke that Wemby played hurt, so he didn't have to go against the true stick man?
That might have been it. Bowl was he was terrified of that. But yeah, the idea that they've got anybody to stop, I just don't see it. If
they're going to do it, Darren's going to have to go get 26 minimum again, and one of the other dudes, Steph, Keldon, Devin's going to have to get 25 too. And if they do that, they'll win. I just don't think that's going to happen.
And last night, the numbers I saw, and I know he's not a center per se, but I guess he's their power forward, Royce O'Neal for the Suns. He got everything he wanted. Everything he wanted. And he was going inside. He was going outside. He just had his way. That's worrisome. That's worrisome. So if a team with no big was able to have their way with you at the rim, I think now a team that's got some big bodies. I think the Pistons might body the Spurs.
The problem is I'm going to have to change my paradigm again. I was just getting used to watching the Spurs and expecting, or at least thinking, it's possible to win. I'm not that we weren't going to throw some kind of monkey wrench into the plan to lose on purpose. That legitimately, with 2 minutes to go, we're going to do everything we can to win the game. It might not work, but we're going to do what we can.
Hey, man, there's always next year.
And now I got to go back to, okay, we got 2 minutes to go. How are we going to lose this?
You can always go back to there's always next year mode. You're not used to this, Spurs fan. You're not used to it.
Sadly, I'm getting way too used to it, and I thought I was getting over it. It took me most of this season to start tuning into games and going, this is how we're going to win, not this is how we're going to lose.
You got spoiled.
Well.
And now it's like credit card bills due on the Spurs, and it's
come on, Harrison Ingram.
Yep. All right. That's going to do it for us, guys. The Blitz, Joe Reinagle, is going to be doing the show at 2 o'clock. Where are they at again?
Rooftop?
No, they're out at the outside of Brackenridge.
Oh, that's right.
Damn it. I'm terrible with Yingling. The Clubhouse on Broadway.
Yeah.
2 o'clock.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA.
GiveMeTheVin.com salutes Call to Adventure, Steve Fawcett.